Welcome to History with Hersafat. I'm your host, Chris, aka Hersafat. Today on the podcast, we'll be beginning our discussion of the decade that was the 70s with the year 1970. The views shared on this podcast come from your everyday ordinary people. My hope is that it'll give you a unique perspective on history. For future podcasts, we're beginning years 1971 and 1972. And for those that listen to our podcast via Spotify, Apple, or Spreaker, we also have a YouTube channel showcasing a number of top-notch videos highlighting some borderline funny moments from our podcast for your viewing pleasure. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Back with us once again, we have Brad and Nick. Hello, guys. Good to see you. Good to
Hello.
have you back.
Good to
Hey.
be here, especially with the
Uh,
1970s. Is pretty cool.
yeah. Just want to. I made a quick note here before we get going. I was originally hesitant to do, just for our listeners out there. I was hesitant to do the 70s due to the podcast, the whole channel, the whole point is a retelling of history through the
hmm
eyes of the everyday individual who've actually lived through that time. None of us were alive in the 70s, so
Nope.
we
Yeah,
have no frame of reference other than what we read,
yeah.
which in its own way could be
I,
an interesting,
Um,
take on things.
well,
But
we did the 80s, though, and I was barely alive in the 80s.
right,
and
I
I
did,
wasn't at all.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, at least somebody on the podcast has been alive. Now, I
Right.
wasn't alive for the first half of the 80s, and
Right.
I don't remember any of the rest of it.
Mhm.
So I get that. So, but that's why I went with the decade of the 2010s after the
Right.
80s. Naturally speaking, you would think the way we were kind of going with it that we would go back to the 70s after the 80s. Considering we went, what was it, 2000s, then the 90s, then the 80s, naturally
Right.
speaking, 70s. But we went to the 2010s for that reason that I just
Mhm.
wasn't, I don't know, I just wasn't comfortable enough. I was like, it's a whole decade of, yeah, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff we can do. There's things that, the 70s don't have that the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s do.
Mhm.
Um, Mainly video games. Well, there's like one a year maybe. So, but be that as it may, I'm glad we went ahead with it. It should be a good
For
time.
sure. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. If you think about it, we've done almost, was it 50 episodes? So it's how many decades now? The 2000s, 90s, 80s, 2010s? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
40 episodes. It'll be 50 by the time of the 70s are over.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So,
That doesn't
also,
count our
yep,
what's the deal with episodes
yep,
either. So that's something to
yeah.
think about.
So 1970 will be 50. Who would ever thought? Um, Also, I'm gonna send out some love to the people that listen to our podcast, that visit our YouTube channel. We've gained, I don't know how many subscribers now. We're at 250, which is
Yeah.
Holy
really
shit.
neat. We're halfway
Nice.
to 500, which is pretty cool. I never in a million years would have thought that would happen. So, uh,
For sure.
good to see. Good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone.
yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get right into the weird news of the week. We got a special treat
Yeah.
this week. I will not be doing it. In fact, I
That's
have
right.
no idea what the weird news is. That's been handled by Nick. So,
That's
Nick,
right.
go ahead.
Right. So the weird news of the week. Um, this is not this is from the New York Post, and it's not written like you're kind of used to. It's not as like punny, but
Oh, man.
I picked it because it's a ridiculous story, as they all are. So here's the headline for the weird news of the week is my neighbor made his backyard into a junkyard. It now stinks, and my yard is full of rats.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
It goes on to then say, disgusted locals are demanding action after their neighbors turned their home into a makeshift dumpster with tons of trash dumped on the driveway. Residents living on Peach Avenue in Stafford say their lives are being made a misery by the eyesore mountain of waste along the residential street. Shocking photos show piles of debris stacked up on the driveway, including rubble, sofas, mattresses, wooden panels, fridges, and carpets. Homeowners say the mound of filth has been left to fester for over a year and is attracting rats and causing health problems for their children.
Oh,
Go
God.
figure.
Right.
They claim the owner of the house has been collecting waste and burning it day and night rather than disposing of it at the local dumpster. Angry residents have accused the local council of doing nothing to help, despite the health hazard absolutely stinking and being just yards away from a primary school. One mom of
Wow.
two, yeah, one mom of two who did not want to be named said the following: I first complained to the council last August, and it has just snowballed from there. In November, they were able to confirm to me that they didn't have a license to do this, yet nothing has been done. She goes on to say, my son was sick for 5 months and off school for 8 weeks. He has
Holy shit.
asthma and couldn't breathe.
Dear God.
But they don't care, she says. They just carry on doing what they want. There's rats everywhere. It towers so high, I don't know how it hasn't fallen over yet, and it absolutely stinks. She continues on saying that there's metal spilling out onto the street. It's not just confined to the garden. I've lost count on how many cars have had their tires punctured.
Oh my God.
This is insanity.
We have fires every day through the summer and winter. The fire service comes out and then they relight them as soon as they've gone. I've driven myself insane with this, she says. I contacted the Environment Agency yesterday, and they were amazed the council hadn't advised I contacted them a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah, they should have been the first port of call, but I've had to do all this research myself, as the council has done nothing. Their customer service has been shocking. They've blamed everything from using agency staff to people having left the council. There's also antisocial behavior and parties until late at night. We tried contacting police, but they've said it's a civil matter. We're at the end of our tether. Children have to walk past it every day on the way to school. It's not safe. It's a major health hazard, and it's been allowed to rot for a year. There's debris everywhere. He'll come out and smash glass. I'm just so disheartened that we've been left to live next to this without anyone seemingly wanting to help. And then another local resident, it says, who did not wish to be named for fear of reprisals, said, it's been going on like this for about a year and nothing has changed. Complained numerous times, as many of us have here, but we're all told is that we're looking into it. Let's see. And then it just goes, just more quotes from these people, just awful, awful stuff. And then it goes on then to say Jason Glover, who runs a trash removal business in Staffordshire, said he had wrongly been linked to the mess on social media, and it was his brother who was responsible.
Oh, jeez.
He said, I'm based in Stone, but people have been saying online this has to do with me and my business, but I can say 100% that is not the case. The house in Stafford has nothing to do with me, and it's my brother who lives there, and he has a few issues.
To say the least.
A few. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. The man goes on to say, his brother goes on to say, he has been doing his own thing with about 10 other guys and is bringing the rubbish back and burning it. And it has attracted illegal dumpers too. So not all the rubbish there is his. And he's been getting threats online as a result.
Where is this at?
I don't know. It's a Staffordshire. I don't know. I couldn't find exactly the right place. There's so many. But yeah, it's in the U.S. A Staffordshire police spokesman said they would be unable to comment as legal action is being taken. So yeah, that's the end of the
interesting.
That yeah.
So somewhere in Staffordshire, if anybody, a Highland like that is insane.
Yeah.
Feel free to email us if you are living in that town and have seen this trash heap yourselves, or have got your tires popped.
Right. Or did you summit the mountain of trash?
Right.
Or did you party at the trash house?
Right. It just that seems Party?
They have
Where's the party at?
parties?
You know, just see the big pile of trash.
Right.
The big burning pile of trash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Let's just
That's
go
the
there.
party spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
God,
Good God.
I couldn't imagine living in that community and complaining so many times and not being the only one, and nobody does anything about it.
That's just bizarre
That's
why no one does
insane.
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's laziness. There's laziness, but I mean,
Right.
I mean,
How
wow,
do you
I
not
should
take
get
it
elected to
seriously?
office or something.
Right.
Like, who the
Yeah.
fuck are these people that get elected that don't do anything? That doesn't make
Right.
any sense to me. You'd
Yep.
think they'd be held
Yeah.
accountable in some regard, but that's the world in which we live in.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Damn. What a story. That was
Yeah.
weird. That was kind of insane news, I'd say.
Right. The insane news of the week.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolutely insane. All right. Thank you, Nick. Well done, well done.
Yep.
All right. We will now move into our movie section of the podcast. Excited for this. The very first time we have the movies of 1970.
What about the timeline?
Fuck. All right, I'm going to cut that all out. All right, we're going to move on to our next pod. I'll just skip my whole thing altogether. Fuck that. Yeah. Cutting this all out. No one's going to be any the wiser. Here we go. All right. Thank you, Nick. We're going to move on to our next section of the podcast with the timeline of 1970.
Walt Disney World is a tribute to the philosophy and the life of Walter Elias Disney.
The Beatles are breaking up.
Water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
A film was made from the book. It too was called Jaws. It has already made more money than any motion picture in history.
You have to go all the way back to Elvis Presley, to the Beatles, to rock and roll, and then finally comes disco.
Star Wars. It is more than just a successful movie, it is a box office phenomenon.
Good evening. David Berkowitz, 24 years old, a postal worker, walked out of his Yonkers apartment last night, turned the ignition key in his car, and found himself surrounded by police. Well, he said, you got me.
Good evening. Elvis Presley died today. He was 42. Apparently it was a heart attack.
And on January 16th, John Lennon's London Art Gallery exhibit of lithographs, Bag 1, is shut down by Scotland Yard for displaying erotic lithographs. Some of the more erotic lithographs included Lennon sucking on a banana while Yoko shoved a pineapple up his ass, and one of Lennon attempting to suck his own dick. On February 2nd, U.S. President Richard M. Nixon sends the annual government budget proposal to Congress, sharply curtailing the American crewed space program and raising the amount to be spent on welfare programs. You heard that right. A Republican proposed raising the amount spent on welfare programs. The 70s were truly a wild time.
Yeah.
On March 6th, cult leader and suspected murderer Charles Manson releases an album titled Lie, The Love and Terror Cult, to help finance his defense. And if that album doesn't make the worst albums list of 1970, Brad will be packing his bags and moving to Alaska.
God damn it. I'll start packing now.
You better just scribble that in your notes real quick.
On April 4th, 1970, fragments of burnt human remains believed to be those of Adolf Hitler, Eva Braun, Joseph Goebbels, Magda Goebbels, and the Goebbels children are crushed and scattered in the Biederitz River at a KGB center in Magdeburg, East Germany. It was later discovered to be fragments of petrified dog shit, though, so roughly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
May 10th, the Boston Bruins won their first Stanley Cup since 1941 when Bobby Orr scored a goal 40 seconds into an overtime for a 4-3 victory, completing a 4-game sweep of the St. Louis Blues. The picture of this goal is considered to be the most famous picture in all of hockey, right behind the Vancouver Riots of 1994. On June 12th, 1970, Doc Ellis, a pitcher for the Pittsburgh... let me say that again. On June 12th, Doc Ellis, a pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, threw the first no-hitter of the 1970 season, while he would lay claim later he was high on the hallucinogenic drug LSD.
Yeah.
In the 2-0 win in San Diego over the Padres, Ellis allowed 8 walks. Indeed, the only hits allowed that day were of the acid variety.
Nice.
On July
I've heard
27th
that
in
story.
What's that?
Oh, I've heard that story.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
me too.
About
Yeah,
the no-hitter on acid.
it's crazy. He didn't even
Pretty
he didn't
awesome.
know he was going to play that game. I don't know how that works out.
Right.
On July 27th in Chicago, the Sears Roebuck and Company announced its plan to construct the tallest building in the world to be 1,450 feet high, taller than 1,350 feet twin towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. The 110-story Sears Tower, now called the Willis Tower, would take its first tenants in 1973 and would remain the world's tallest building until 1998, when the 1,483 feet tall Petronas Towers would open in Malaysia. The Petronas Towers remained the world's tallest building until 2015, when North Korea erected the gigantic Jong-un, a skyscraper in the shape of Kim Jong-un's hair. August 20th, Grammy Award-winning artist and new metal visionary Fred Durst is born in Gastonia, North Carolina. Fred would go on to form the legendary new metal group Limp Bizkit, where he would achieve massive success as a huge douchebag. On September 18th, 1970, American rock musician Jimi Hendrix dies of an overdose, age 27, in London, 2 days after last playing in public. Hendrix is widely regarded as the greatest guitar player in history. His musical proficiency is still felt to this day, as countless artists and musicians cite him as a major influence. However, his most famous achievement would have to be his creation of the 27 Club.
Right.
It's kind of a dark joke. October 30th, Jim Morrison of The Doors is found guilty of indecent exposure and profanity because of his behavior during a March 1st, 1969 concert, and is sentenced to 8 months of hard liquor and a $500 fine. Did I say hard liquor? I meant hard labor. Hard labor.
I'm sure that 8 months of hard liquor was a piece of cake for him.
On November 30th, Ronald Hughes, one of the attorneys for Charles Manson, fails to appear when the trial resumed after a 10-day recess, during which he had gone on a camping trip in Ventura County. His body would be found on March 29th, 1971, wedged between rocks in the waters of Sesame Creek. It was how he wanted to go.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
What?
And on December 12th, 1970, enraged that his son, Brian Spencer, would not appear on Hockey Night in Canada because the CBC television network chose to broadcast a different National Hockey League game, Roy Spencer drove 84 miles to the closest CBC affiliate to hold technicians at gunpoint and demand that they telecast the Toronto Maple Leafs game in which Brian was playing. After the game concluded, Roy was killed in a shootout with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Still not in the top 10 of craziest things a Maple Leafs fan has done.
Yeah, well, I mean, that guy really bled.
Do you know
white
what Brian
and blue,
Spencer's stats were for the night? 0 goals, 0 assists, 2 penalty minutes. That's it.
Wow.
I was gonna have it like he didn't like he didn't what was it, like a -3 or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
His differential.
Yeah. He was a -3. He only played for 6 minutes. Yeah, it was a whole thing. That's what he got killed for and what he held up a crew for his son to only play 6 minutes and do nothing. Yeah. But yeah, that sounds about right.
Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix died. Also, Janis Joplin died 3 weeks later.
Also at 27, yeah.
Also at 27. Yeah. I wasn't sure after I saw Jimi Hendrix. Basically, it was whoever died first. That's who I was going with.
Right.
And then you mentioned Jim Morrison. He died at 27 as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, the club filled up really quick.
Yeah, the first 3 members were announced their arrival in like a year of each other, like within a year, maybe even 6 months. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All 3 of them at 27. I think that's probably what started. It was the fact that 3 musicians died within 6 months, and they were all 27. And almost all of them, I think they're all drug related in some fashion.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think my favorite joke of that was the Doc Ellis one.
Oh yeah,
I wish I didn't butcher that, but whatever.
it is what it is.
Is what it is. All right, guys. That's the timeline for 1970. All
Nice.
right. All right. Now we will move into our next section of the podcast with the movies of 1970.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
You talking to me?
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Silent breed is people!
Yo, Adrian!
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
I'm gonna make him an offer again with you.
She's a goddamn robot.
This means something.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Toga! Toga! Toga!
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberry!
All right. And the top grossing movies of the year 1970. Number 10, The Owl and the Pussycat. You guys ever hear of this movie?
No.
Yeah, me either. It's got Barbara Streisand and George Segal.
Is that the Owl and the Pussycat? Is that them?
Yeah,
he's the owl.
George Segal is the owl.
Right on.
Okay.
Yeah, he's owlish, it says.
What does that mean?
He's a writer who vents his frustration by reporting to the super that the woman in the neighboring flat takes payments for sex, who is the Barbara Streisand character. So then they end up getting together, and it's a comedy.
Oh boy.
His neighbor's a foul-mouthed, freewheeling prostitute.
Match made in heaven. That's what that is.
That's all I have to say about that one.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of these. I mean, I haven't seen like any of these fucking movies, really. Number 9 is Catch-22.
Okay.
Which I believe it is a book. This guy, he's trying to be certified insane during World War II, so he can be excused from flying missions.
Fair enough. It's a good idea.
So it's almost like a Klinger type character,
right?
No Klinger from MASH.
I think they remade this. I think.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Even I don't know the year of the new one, but apparently Art Garfunkel's in it.
Really?
A minor role. Yeah.
Right.
Alan Arkin is the main guy.
Yeah, that's what got Larry David out of the army. He claimed to be insane. And then pretended to be crazy.
Maybe he read the book and like, oh, okay.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So Catch-22.
All right, moving on here. Number 8, Ryan's Daughter.
Huh.
Set in the wake of the 1916 Easter Rising, a married woman in a small Irish village has an affair with a troubled British officer.
Okay.
It's just a romance movie.
Right.
It's fucking 3 hours and 20 minutes long.
What?
Yeah, that seems pretty excessive.
What?
People had longer attention spans back then. They could sit through a 3-hour movie. 3-hour romance movie.
Yeah.
All right, how about number 7? Tora, Tora, Tora.
Oh yeah.
Finally. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's about Pearl
I've
Harbor.
never seen it. Yeah, it's a Pearl Harbor movie. I think I have a vague old memory of watching it because my dad had it taped off a TV.
Right.
And
it's so boring.
Is it?
So boring. and that movie that goes on for almost 4 fucking hours, right? Like that's a really long one.
Like
oh, really?
Half, but it probably feels like 4.
It just it feels. Yeah. It's so boring. It's still better than Pearl Harbor though, like the one in like the
okay. I don't know. I watched the trailer for it. Looks pretty fucking awesome. A lot of explosions, a lot of planes exploding, a lot of people exploding. But that's probably all of it. That's all the action scenes just in the trailer, and the rest of it's super boring.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna say the thing that I remember like first discovering this movie was when I looked up because I think it was the World Trade Center movie with Nicolas Cage came out or something, right?
Oh,
but it was like in 2004 or 2005, you know?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 4 years after a national tragedy. And I was like, 4 years? Like, that's it? And I was like, how long did it take him to make a movie about Pearl Harbor after Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
And so Pearl Harbor was like 41 or something, like December 7th, 1941.
So like 30 years or so. About 30 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
About 30 years. It took us about 3. Yeah, people were trying to cash in. Fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's all I could think. Yeah, that's what I got to add.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's really crazy.
All right. Going on number 6, highest grossing movie in 1970, Little Big Man.
Is that what the Wayans brothers?
Sounds like it, doesn't it? It's got Dustin Hoffman and Faye Dunaway.
Right, huh?
Dustin Hoffman plays Jack Crabb, who is telling a story at 121 years old.
Okay.
He recounts his past, being captured and raised by Native Americans, becoming a gunslinger, marrying a Native American, and watching her killed by General George Armstrong Custer, and becoming a scout for him at Little Bighorn. So it's like a comedy western.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Dustin Hoffman's awesome, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
I'm sure it's not a terrible movie. I just never seen it.
Right.
Yeah, I had never even heard of it.
That too.
So yeah, that too. Number 5, Woodstock, the documentary concert movie.
That's funny because that happened a year ago.
Oh yeah, and the trailer's like, if you don't remember, I'm like, well, I bet some people probably don't remember a year ago if they were at Woodstock.
Right.
Like, oh, that all happened, yeah.
Fuck, I
it
forgot
looks
all about
actually
that.
really neat, and it was edited by Martin Scorsese.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. There's a lot of shots of like it's like 3 different things going on at the same time because there was so much footage. So they have like 3 different things going concurrently.
I think I may have seen some of the footage from this documentary when they were showing all the bands that played at Woodstock. You'll see like Santana's famous set where he's like tripping on peyote.
They got Grateful Dead looks like Joe Cocker's in there.
Yeah. CCR played there as well. Jimi Hendrix, all that.
The Who.
Yeah. The Who.
Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Fucking what a lineup.
Santana.
Unbelievable.
Oh god, yeah. That'd be insane. Except for all the mud and, no access to food and water.
Yeah, I was going to say,
dirty hippies.
Nothing like 99, man. Nothing like 99. Best Woodstock ever.
Thank you, Fred Durst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know Fred Durst would show up twice in the 1970
yeah, what the hell is going
review.
That's another thing. So you know how, like, from this point, usually it's been so-and-so died. Famous actor, so-and-so died. Now it's famous actor was born. This is all the time a lot of the people that we know are born.
We've gone the opposite direction.
Right.
Exactly.
All right, moving on here. Number 4, Patton, with George C. Scott.
Oh, yeah. That won, Film of the Year, I think, right?
Yes. It won 7 Oscars.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently it's a great movie. Yeah, Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role, Best Director.
Yep.
Best Writing, Story, Screenplay.
Dang.
Yeah, it's
I've never seen
it's
it,
the
but
iconic
never
scene
could-
where he's standing in front of the giant American flag and
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what he says. We will not go quietly into the night.
Still,
We will not give in without a fight.
Mm-hmm.
we're going to go on. We're going to survive. Today, you'll celebrate our Independence Day.
Get it mixed up, but something like that. Yeah, yeah, freedom. I think it's another movie my dad had
But it
recorded
is
off
not
of
this
TV.
day.
Yeah, that Patton got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Apparently, it's really good. So, if you
Epic
like old
biographical. Nice.
Yeah, George S. Patton, World War II.
Very
general
cool.
guy.
General guy.
He's a general guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'd recommend that movie.
For sure.
Let's see. Number 3, MASH.
MASH the movie?
MASH. Yes, that spawned the TV show.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, really?
That's right, yeah.
It's really strange because it's all the same characters, but they're played by different actors. And I watched the trailer, I'm like, that's not Hawkeye. Hawkeye's played by Donald Sutherland. I'm like, no, that's not right. None of this is right. This is all wrong.
Right. Robert Duvall is in that movie too.
And Tom Skerritt and Harriet Gould.
Yeah.
Sally Kellerman, who played Hot Lips, I think she played her in the TV show too. Maybe. I might be totally wrong.
That's all right.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, really good movie, I guess.
Yeah,
it won
I
one
guess.
Oscar.
Yeah. Again, yeah. So we've never seen these. As the 70s move along, we'll have seen a lot of these movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This year for movies for me, I'm like, I don't know any of this. I'm just kind of randomly picking shit. Okay, so we'll continue on here with the number 2 highest grossing film of the year 1970, Airport. You know,
like a
Airport.
precursor to Airplane, or probably not.
I believe so. Airplane was, a decade later, but this is kind of like a, well, shit. It's like 7 different stories all playing at the same time. You got a severe snowstorm, multiple schedules gone awry, a stowaway, shortages, an aging pilot, unreasonable peevish spouses, manpower issues, fuel problems, frozen runways, equipment malfunctions, and there's a guy on the plane with a bomb. Office politics and romance.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's got
It's
everything.
It's got a shit ton of stuff. Yeah.
I feel like maybe Airplane just took some inspiration or something.
I think it
Right.
spoofed this movie.
Right.
I think this started like the disaster movie craze of the 70s, because I know you have like the Poseidon Adventure and you have the Flaming Inferno.
Oh yeah.
I think later on in the 70s, I think.
Okay.
And there's like movies, Airport 1975, Airport 77,
Right.
Concorde, Airport 79, Earthquake.
Layover.
Like these are all just shitty 70s disaster movies. You got Dean Martin's in it.
Right.
And
That's
Burt
all I need.
Lancaster.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that guy, All right, and the number 1 movie, the year 1970, Love Story.
That's based off a novel, right?
I don't know.
All right, we'll just go with that. It's based off a novel that was made into a film. It doesn't. I don't remember who it stars, but I think that's the movie with the famous line where this guy says, "I'm sorry," and the girl shakes her head, and she's like, "No, being in love means never having to say you're sorry."
Yep, that's the one. That is the tagline for the movie. Love means never having to say you're sorry.
Yeah, and I just don't think that's true.
No, you should definitely apologize when needed.
It sounds abusive.
Right? Like, I don't know, beats the hell out of her.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry.
You're
I
in
love
love.
you. I'm not sorry.
I get
Right. Yeah.
it. That's clearly you love me. They don't have to say you're sorry. I get it. Yeah. So I know nothing of that movie other than that line, and
that's all you need to know.
Yeah. Love means never having to say you're sorry.
And I'm surprised you even knew that, because I had never even heard of the movie.
Oh, that's why I'm here.
Okay, thank God. All right, I'm going to move into personal picks of 1970, and I only have a few, really.
Right.
Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
Is
Beneath.
the sequel. Yeah, they go underground, and there's like telepathic humans, and they worship a nuclear missile.
Oh.
Seems pretty
think I've
fucking
heard of that.
wild shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they send a new guy to go find out where Charlton Heston's character went. And then, that the apes are still there, and then they find the underground people.
Reminds me of Megaton from Fallout 3.
They worship the bomb.
Yeah.
They probably based that off of this.
Right.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I don't know. Got nothing else to say about that. Next personal pick is El Topo. Now, I've not seen this movie, but I know the director, Alejandro Jodorowsky. He made this really fucking weird movie called The Holy Mountain, which we'll talk about in a later episode. But he just makes really fucking weird, bizarre, symbolic, almost nonsensical movies. And this seems like it's right up there. Yeah, like the storyline, it sounds like the Dark Tower, because there's a gunslinger in black and they're in a desert.
Huh.
Interesting.
Riding a horse through a mystical landscape strewn with American Western and ancient Eastern religious symbols.
Like Kung Fu.
There's bandits.
Huh. That
Yeah,
sounds
I don't know.
interesting.
It seems really weird. So if you're into that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Another personal pick, Gimme Shelter. The Rolling Stones documentary.
Okay.
It's about one particular 1969 concert where they hired the Hells Angels to be security.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's about that. And it's, it's got a pretty good rating. It's probably, I would assume it's a really good documentary.
And that was fucked up.
Just deplorable.
Yeah. One of the concert members was like high on meth and tried to storm the stage, and one of the Hells Angels guys just stabbed him to death, or her. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Hunter S. Thompson hung around with the Hells Angels for a while and wrote a book about them. Some of the details he gives on their day-to-day life are quite horrifying.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're just a club. They're just a club.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Club of fucking maniacs. Anyways, speaking of music documentaries, we have the Beatles, Let It Be.
This is the original, the one.
That is the original documentary.
Oh, nice. That's neat. Yeah.
Not yeah, and then a couple of years ago, Peter Jackson added a bunch of more footage and made that 3-part Disney Plus documentary, which was excellent.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is the original one.
I wonder.
Yeah, I mean it's
my favorite. One of my favorite, couple of my favorite scenes from that whole thing is Paul just playing on the, I think he's playing on the bass because he's Paul McCartney. He's playing the bass and he's just, or maybe it's the guitar. I don't remember, but he's playing the instrument and he slowly starts coming up with "Get Back." Slowly but surely, you start seeing the wheels. You're seeing the wheels turning, and you're literally watching "Get Back" being created before your eyes. It's really something to watch.
Yeah.
How he just kind of comes with. I was like, oh, cool. I write songs the same way. You're just kind of mumbling something, just getting a melody, and then all of a sudden words will just come out, and you're like, oh, that works. And then, you could be stuck on a line for hours, and then if you figure out, oh, that works, you get the next 6 and 20 seconds or something.
For sure.
That and John Lennon talking about wanting to get plastic on everything. That just cracked me up. It reminded me of Spinal Tap so much. It's just like plastic. I just been having plastic, thoughts of plastic. Just get clear plastic, cover the front of the band so the wind blocks it, but people can see through the plastic. And get plastic covered chairs, plastic covered drapes, plastic everywhere. He's just like walking around Yoko and it's like, yeah, it's plastic, plastic. But yeah, that's a good movie. Really good.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then another personal pick. I don't know why the hell I picked this. It's called Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
I've heard of that.
It's just this weird erotic sex movie. I guess it's rated NC-17.
Wait, I've never heard that.
A rock group moved to Hollywood to get discovered and fall into a whirlpool of wickedness. It's just a whole bunch of drugs and sex and.
Gotcha.
Interesting fact: one of the people that wrote it, Roger Ebert.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That perverted fuck.
Yeah, it just seems weird because. Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. 2 thumbs down, Roger.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like something like that would be below.
That's more of a Siskel.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely gonna watch it. All right.
That's all I have for personal picks. Now moving into worst movies of 1970. This movie called Myra Breckinridge.
Yes, that's Gore Vidal.
Yeah,
he wrote that screenplay. It's a book that he wrote. It's based off a transvestite woman, I think.
Yes.
And in one scene, she rapes some dude, and they show it on like film, and it's like she's like a cowboy riding a horse sort of deal,
What
and it's
the
really
hell?
like fucking out there, outrageous, and perverse.
Mm-hmm.
It's intended to, what do you call it? Like offend. That's the whole point of the movie.
Right.
That's the whole thing. Because my, Gore Vidal, for the most part, I pretty much like everything he does. This is not one of them. Movie is not for me. Um, but yeah, I'll leave that alone. But yeah, just that was the whole point. I think from what I took away from it. I mean, it's 1970. It's really early in America. Like we're just kind of like coming out of the 60s here, and people are pushing even more buttons.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of like just gaining steam, and he got critically panned. Don't think it was well received at all across the board, and just but it got word of mouth, and everybody was talking about it. So I guess he
Yeah, probably
succeeded
like
in
the
that
shock
regard.
value.
Yeah, shock value.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
What
I
were you
came
gonna say,
across-
Brad? I'm sorry.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm glad you knew about it.
I had nothing to say about it, actually.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
All right, and my last pick for worst movie, Hercules in New York, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, his debut movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's just him like lumbering around New York, and
Oh god.
they had to overdub his voice because his accent was so heavy, like he barely spoke English. It's the funniest thing, like seeing Arnold talk with like a totally normal guy voice, like no accent.
Hi guys, my name's Arnold. It's just like
Yeah,
Right.
I'm Hercules.
Was that
I'm
one of his
Hercules.
like
Oh, that's
first?
right. Yeah, I'm Hercules.
Was that one of his first movies?
It was his first movie.
It was his first movie.
Mhm.
Okay.
This is his first like major movie.
My name is Hercules.
Like-
But that's probably too clear. It's like, Hercules.
Yeah. Hercules.
I mean, yeah, there's a mix of Greek and Roman gods. It's just he's fighting. Apparently, gods come and he has to fight them, and
Right.
fights with a bunch of sailors with a block of wood. Destroys a taxi.
God.
Oh yeah, Arnold goes on a date with a girl and takes his shirt off and starts flexing in public. I saw that on the trailer. Just for no reason.
Well, work with what you got.
Yeah, so that's gonna do it for me for movies.
All right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
sorry I
No,
didn't
no.
have too much, but
No,
I feel
don't
like
worry about it.
there will be a lot more as
Yeah, for sure.
the decade progresses.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brad. All right. Well, that will do it for movies, and we will now move on to our next section of the podcast with the music of 1970.
It's the music of the 1970s.
Oh hey, and it's me again. All
Brad's
right,
back again. How about
here
that?
we got. Here are some albums that went number one in 1970. Oh boy, let's start with a little band, the Beatles, with Abbey Road.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I mean,
my God.
I love that album.
Who wants to start with Abbey Road? Who wants to talk about Abbey Road? Who wants to take that lead? I can jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so is that their best album? Is that the best one? It's hard to say at the Beatles, but Abbey Road is phenomenal, phenomenal record. I still listen to it all the time. Just it's usually like I'll just get in a mood, and it's usually Abbey Road or like there's the young Beatles, like Help and what is it, Rubber Soul or something, I think it is. The earlier albums when they're 64, 65, those are classics, don't get me wrong, but there's something about their later works that just still resonate more with me than their younger, the earlier stuff. And the White Album, Abbey Road, I just think it's just fantastic. The Carry That Weight that moves into
towards the end. Yeah,
towards the end. Yeah, I love that. Once there was a way, the back home, and then it goes into this doom, doom, doom. Boy, you're gonna carry that weight. It's so good, so good. And it's.
I'd
what can be said?
Yeah, I'd have to say I agree though. It's hard to say because I really like Abbey Road, but I think my favorite Beatles album is Revolver.
Yeah, that's my favorite too.
Also at the same time, if when Abbey Road came out, it seemed like the Beatles were just more fleshed out, like they were, I don't know, more rounded, sound a bit more mainstream, but every single song is so good. I mean, that's just kind of how it is with the Beatles. But I have a story, like the first time that I heard Come Together, I was stoned out of my mind, as you can imagine. And I mean, it was just a really great moment. I like, it was like I was like transcending. I was so high listening to that song. It was amazing, incredible. But yeah, that song, was the reason I actually got this on vinyl years later. But it was a remastered version. But I do have the original version of Revolver and other albums as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a song like Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Like, that song's fucking insane for the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And Something.
Oh, my God.
That Harrison wrote, the beautiful guitar at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Darling. Octopus's Garden, which I actually like that song despite it being a Ringo song.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I Want You, She's So Heavy.
Yeah.
That chord progression at the end, dun, dun, dun. It's like, it's heavy.
Yeah. Yep.
And then it just cuts off. And then side 2 starts with Here Comes the Sun.
Yep.
Right.
And then you have that whole suite of songs that all like go together basically.
Yeah,
because it's all a cappella. Because the world is round. That's so good. Oh,
like Mean Mr. Mustard.
Yeah. Yeah.
She came in through the bathroom window. It's all fucking awesome shit.
That because is I think it's, what was it? Backwards Beethoven, basically.
Moonlight Sonata.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Yeah, it's just so good. I mean, I Want You, She's So Heavy is such a, I mean, that's like, I know there's other bands that came out that Brad's going to get to, and a lot of people attribute them, like, and I won't say the name, but like as it being like the founders of heavy metal, and they are. But the Beatles with I Want You, She's So Heavy, I mean, other than Helter Skelter, is there a heavier Beatles song? Maybe.
Right.
I love that melody of it just bum 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 and
yep,
so good.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That ending chord progression.
And the Oh Darling is like a nod to me, to their earlier work, because it kind of sounds like something they would sing like in 1964, But I always love the story about how Paul recorded the song right in the morning, right as he woke up. He would just wake up and wouldn't say a word, just go straight to the studio and record singing this, just so he could have a rougher version of himself. Because your voice always sounds rough in the morning, and he that's what he wanted. That was the effect. So, I mean, just a phenomenal album. One of the greatest of all time. Those words are going to be said repeatedly through this decade.
Yeah, for sure.
That phrase is going to be like rinse, wash, and repeat. And
there's really no other way to describe these albums.
Yeah,
it's like that they're fucking incredible. They're perfect. You just have to listen to them.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And think about the jump we've made from the worst decade of music, what we consider the worst,
right?
One of possibly the best.
Yeah. No, I loved doing the music for this this year alone. I'm just like, holy shit, that's great. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
But we have to move on here.
Yes.
Right.
Another #1 album. It came out in 1969, towards the end of 69, but it was #1 into 1970. So
sure.
I'm gonna go with Led Zeppelin with Led Zeppelin II.
Oh man.
Whole Lot of Love.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. Ramble On.
Yep.
Moby
Oh
Dick.
my God.
Yep.
What is and
everything.
what should never be.
Yep.
The Lemon song. Yeah, just the whole fucking thing.
The whole thing.
It's amazing,
awesome.
man. It's incredible.
It's the same fucking year. I mean, is this the peak? This has
Yeah.
to be the peak music. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Oh, this whole decade will be the peak of music.
Yeah.
It just it blows my mind. It really does.
Yeah, just everyone on the top of their game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is when rock and roll started, with the 50s with Elvis and all that rockabilly stuff, and it kind of slowly progressed to more and more, trying new things, trying different stuff, and the Beatles, when they made it 64 and they came over, it was like a breath of fresh air. Then Elvis went on the back burner, and I believe it wasn't until like 1968 that Elvis came back, which, by the way, I think I'm probably gonna watch that later. Is a Netflix just released a thing about Elvis's 68 comeback special. I recommend watching that. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm already going to recommend watching it. That is an unbelievably ballsy performance by Elvis.
Oh yeah,
it's really good. But
I
you're
don't
now
remember that, but I
watching
know about
music. I think by the turn of the 70s, by the end of the 60s, the beginning of the 70s, rock music in general, has now evolved to an even a greater scope than I don't think anybody could have remotely predicted that 5 years prior, 1960. If you listen to the music from 1965 and then listen to the music from 1970, you would think it was like 20 years later. It's crazy.
Yeah, there was
it just blows my mind.
All right, we best move on.
Yeah,
that's gonna be said a lot too.
We're gonna tone it down a little bit.
Okay.
And this was actually the most popular album in the year 1970.
Okay.
Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Okay. Yeah.
That something's never, something stay the same. No, I mean nothing with Simon and Garfunkel. It's just I just wouldn't put it on the same pedestal as Abbey Road or Led Zeppelin II so far.
Right.
Well, okay, it spent the most time at number one.
Sure.
So
yeah. I'm pretty sure the song was, Bridge Over Troubled Water was like attributed to a film too, I think, which helped it.
Ooh, that I don't know.
Yeah,
Art Garfunkel left the band, I think, after this album.
Yes, this was their last album.
And he did a small part in a film this year.
Well, yeah, this album I really liked. Because obviously it's got Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is it's just a great song. It's a beautiful song, and it's written like a gospel too, which makes it really interesting. But then they have Cecilia is on that.
Yes.
Is on that. The Boxer.
The Boxer is fucking awesome.
Yeah. The Only Living Boy in New York is on that.
Yeah, I really liked that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
It's fantastic. I've always really liked these guys.
Yeah. God, that's such a good. I mean, I don't not taking anything. It's the 70s. We're gonna have to pick and choose.
No, I know.
That album, Bridge Over Troubled Water, would be number one, except for maybe 2019 for you with Fear Inoculum. It would be number one across the board. There wouldn't even be an album that touches it in the decade of the 2010s through 2019.
Right.
So
100%.
Yeah.
I really like the album cover too, because it looks like Art has a mustache and it's Paul Simon's hair. It just looks funny.
Oh my god. I didn't notice that before. Now I can't unsee it. He just has his huge push broom mustache. Oh no, I can't unsee it.
Yep. It's like the FedEx. It's like the arrow and the E and the X. Once you're told about it, you'll never see it.
Holy moly. All right, we got to move on because there's a shit ton more. We got Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deja Vu, which I'm not that familiar with.
Me either.
Yeah.
We'll take it as a blessing.
Teach Your Children, Our House, Carry On. Not really familiar with that one.
No.
Me either.
All right, well, we'll just move on then. With let's see. I don't know if you hear this guy, Paul McCartney, with his debut solo album, McCartney.
Oh right, yeah.
It's got Maybe I'm Amazed on it, which
yeah,
that song alone is so fucking good.
Yeah. For years, what are the lyrics to the song? What's the title of the song?
Maybe I'm amazed.
Yeah, people thought he said "Baby, I'm amazed,"
Baby, I'm amazed at the
but it's
Right,
"Maybe I'm
right.
amazed by the way that." Yeah, maybe I'm amazed. I love you all the time. Yeah, yeah.
When he
In the
starts
middle of
screaming.
something. Yeah.
It's like, and he goes all in.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the Beatles they broke up this year, right? In 1970.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had some legal issues and stuff like that. Paul McCartney had like a press conference, like detailing that he was breaking away from the management of the Beatles so he can fly solo. And by the way, here's my solo record, ready to buy right now. What a press release! I mean, well done business wise. Yeah,
Right.
I'm
For
leaving the
sure.
Beatles, and if you want some music, here's some for me,
Yeah.
McCartney. Yeah.
McCartney.
Hey.
I named it something else, I think, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, he had McCartney. Then I think he has McCartney 2.
Yeah,
and
he
3
does.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
They'll
my
buy
name.
it. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go back to the Beatles now because they also released "Let It Be."
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. They mentioned that in the documentary "Let It Be" that they were basically they like completed Abbey Road, and they jumped into the studio to record, the next album ended up being the last album, Let It Be.
No,
Obviously,
their last. No,
Oh, wait.
I thought they recorded Abbey Road after "Let It Be."
I thought they recorded but released it after. I could be wrong.
Hmm.
You could be right. You're probably right. Let's go with you. So they recorded this after. They recorded uh, Abbey Road after Let It Be. Okay. So Abbey Road would then technically have been the last album that they recorded together?
Yeah, but it was released after or before "Let It Be."
It's honestly,
I believe so.
Yeah, this album's good. It's definitely not my favorite out of the Beatles.
Yeah, there's something about
but
it I don't really care for. There's something about
the
it.
Long and Winding Road, probably my favorite
Yeah.
song on that whole album.
I mean, Get Back is awesome.
Yeah.
Let It
no,
Be.
It couldn't have been. No, Abbey Road was released beforehand because it's September. You said it was released in '69.
Right.
And Let It Be releases in 1970.
Yeah.
So Let It Be
No, I
was
was talking
released
about
after.
Led Zeppelin II.
Oh, shit. I looked up Abbey Road and it said 69. Yeah, but
Oh,
you said
yeah,
it was,
you're right.
Yeah,
it
it
was released
did.
on September 26, 1969.
Yeah.
And then
This one
May
was released
8th,
in May.
1970. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it was recorded in. Let It Be was recorded in 1968 and 1969.
Right,
And
yeah.
1970. Okay.
Right.
They were all over the place.
There,
With that one.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Crazy.
Just pumping out songs and just like, let's put this on this album, let's put this on this album.
What's fucking even crazier is it's gone through 68, 69, 70, but
Right.
it's recorded on, it looks like February 4th and February 8th of 1968. The 24th through the 31st, which you see, I believe, in the documentary.
Right.
And then the 3rd, 4th, and 8th of January 1970, or maybe that's what you see in the documentary.
You know what? Who knows?
Who knows? All I know is that they didn't record for months at a time. They recorded for like a week and a half, and they came out with one of the greatest albums of all time. It's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if any of this could be even put together. Like you can't even say it's like rose-colored glasses, Because if you break it down musically, it's superior in every capacity.
Yeah.
It's just
still great.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
Oh, I don't know. I got nothing else to say about it.
We've probably just music for 1970, about 15 minutes in or whatever it is, and 10 of it's been about the Beatles.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and we still have quite a lot of albums to go. All right. How about the Woodstock original soundtrack? It went number 1.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's see the track list. John Sebastian, Canned Heat, Richie Havens, Country Joe and the Fish. That sounds good. Arlo Guthrie, Sha-Na-Na. Got Crosby, Stills and Nash, The Who, Joe Cocker, Santana, Jefferson Airplane, Sly and the Family Stone, Jimi Hendrix with the Star Spangled Banner. We've all heard that. His crazy Star Spangled Banner.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He got shit for it too.
Oh yeah. He destroyed it in the best possible way. So yeah, that's the Woodstock original soundtrack. So people could remember,
Right.
in case they forgot.
I think it was on the Cavett show, Dave Cavett show, I think his name was. Dave or Dale Cavett. I don't want to. He was a really good host. He's one of my favorites from the 70s, maybe my favorite. Um, but he was interviewing Jimi Hendrix after this, and he's like, some people were saying it was disrespectful, and he's like, nah, man, I would say I thought it was beautiful, and
Yeah,
everyone clapped.
he put all of his fucking heart and soul into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he did like fucking like, you know, the bombs bursting in air, so he'd like do like a fucking dive bomb on his guitar, like he made it,
Right? Yeah. He was reenacting it.
Yeah, he was reenacting it with his guitar, man. His guitar was telling the story.
That's great.
All right, so let's see. We got Blood, Sweat, and Tears with Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3. I'm not sure why this went to number 1. I listened to some of it. It just seemed like generic, like, funk rock music. Like a lamer Chicago, basically.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I don't think I ever heard of it.
I don't know. But hey, how about some Creedence with Cosmo's Factory?
I own that vinyl.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. A lady that I told to set herself on fire gave me the vinyl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have
like I said, we're still cool. But
do you have anything to play it on?
Cosmo Factory, right? You said?
Yeah, Cosmo's Factory.
Cosmo's Factory. Okay.
Yeah, it's got Traveling Band.
Yep.
Looking Out My Back Door. Run Through the Jungle.
Phenomenal.
Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Yep.
Who'll Stop the Rain?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Up Around the Bend.
Yep.
And
I've got that
some
vinyl.
other random songs, but yeah,
it's incredible.
Awesome shit.
Absolutely incredible, man.
I love that band. It's probably one of my favorite classic rock bands of all time. CCR. I just love them. Everything. I could listen to it all day. It's so good.
Anytime I hear Looking Out My Back Door, I think of The Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah.
When he's just driving, he's pounding the roof of his car. Yeah.
It's just I love that. I love that album. There isn't a single song. I loved performing Traveling Band with Timmy because he can't really sing. And he get Run Through the Jungle. And that's the song that Fogerty got sued for because the song that he made when he became a solo artist sounded too much like Run Through the Jungle, and he had to show on stand that it wasn't anything like it. Looking Out My Back Door is one of my all-time favorites. As Long as I Can See the Light, I love that song. It's so good. Yeah, it's just it's so I can't say enough. We could probably move on because I'll talk.
Yeah, we should move on because now we have Santana with Abraxas.
Ooh.
You got Black Magic Woman.
Yep.
And Oyo Como Va.
Oyo Como Va. We don't know lyrics.
I know the guitar part.
Oh yeah. But
So
Black
cool.
Magic Woman. Oh, with Santana. There's that that beginning where it's like the little guitar part. The whole thing. And then it cuts into the and the guitar just comes in with the
Yep.
That little is a crazy fucking bend. It is incredibly precise. It is very difficult to pull off. And a lot of people will just go down 2 frets because that's the note he's hitting. But he's hitting it because he's bending the string at such a frenetic pace, like just like getting almost angry at it, like. And it's a little tiny thing. It's a little, it's a speck on the whole thing, but it just makes the whole, that sort of attention is just fantastic. I love that song. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, it's great
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
And by the way, if you can't understand a word I just said with the, don't worry.
Well, yeah, a lot of this stuff, it's like cool guitar licks, so you just have to be like, beep, beep, doo, 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 doo. Like,
yep. And I love that boom, doom, 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 doom at the end. That whole thing. Oh, it's so good.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Speaking of so good, how about George Harrison with All Things Must Pass?
Fuck off. That.
Yeah, dude.
Uh,
The hits don't stop coming.
no, they don't like. Or Smash Mouth, yeah.
I didn't realize it was a triple album. It's over 100 minutes long. It's a behemoth of an album. Yeah, 106 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, you look at the original release, side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4, side 5, and side 6.
It's like everything that the Beatles wouldn't let them put on an album.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
I mean, My
fuck,
Sweet Lord. I mean, that's the yeah.
No, just something about the sound of it. The beginning of My Sweet Lord, where it's just the 2 chords.
Yep.
It's like, why does that sound so fucking awesome?
Yep.
I think he's got a capo at the 2nd fret, and it's just like a standard, I think, a major and a minor chord.
Yep.
It's just like, how does that sound so good?
And like are those like a steel guitar that comes in? And it's like, yeah.
With that, that Harrison tone.
Really wanna feel you. Yeah, it's so good.
What is Life?
Yep.
That song is fucking incredible. It's
Yeah.
like a perfect song. It reminds me of Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Because it's in Goodfellas.
Yep. It's
But
so good.
I don't know, if you're just like driving and What Is Life comes on, you're just like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And honestly, those are only 2 songs I really know.
Yeah, I'm looking through it here and I'm trying to talk about other ones and I'm like, I don't remember that one. If I have, I don't.
I mean,
recall
thanks for the pepperoni. That's probably pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I remember
side
Jeep.
6.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, looking at it, look, a massive project undertaken to do this album.
Huh.
Oh god, all these albums that the Wikipedia articles are like novels about how it was all made and who was involved, and it's insanity.
Yeah, you actually have to grab the bar and physically move it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to go through like 3 pages to get just to the track listing.
Yeah.
Now, that's the thing that I really liked doing the timeline, was that I'm looking through the 70s and I can see that, like, unlike the decade of the 2010s, which just happened, it makes sense. There's not a great deal of stuff written. The 70s, I literally have to click on the month and it takes me day by day into detail about stuff that happened all over the world, day by day.
Wow.
And yeah, music is just as huge and everything.
Right.
Television, not as much right now, at least in 1970. But yeah,
Right.
really,
You're
good
gonna be
stuff.
surprised. You're gonna be
Yeah.
surprised.
All right.
All right, that's it for number 1 albums. Now into my personal album picks, because we got to keep this train rolling with
Right.
good
Yeah.
shit.
By the way, that was the
So-
longest by a mile of number 1 album picks that we actually talk about.
Well, is that highest grossing? Right?
No, albums that just went number 1.
Yeah, albums
So
that went number 1.
however
I
they
see.
figure that shit out.
Gotcha.
Now, personal album picks. Let's go back to Led Zeppelin with Led Zeppelin III.
Mhm.
You got,
In the same year.
yeah.
In
I mean,
the
Led Zeppelin
same
2 was the
year.
end of 1969, but still,
Yeah. That's
Zeppelin 3 was
insane.
released in October of 1970. I mean, you got Immigrant Song
Yep.
about fucking Vikings with the like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even like it's not even like that distorted, but it's heavy as shit.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's probably one of the most known, other than Stairway to Heaven.
Oh yeah.
Most people know of it. Yeah.
I mean, Friends, I love it. This is my favorite Led Zeppelin album, actually.
Really?
Friends is awesome. Celebration Day. Since I've Been Loving You.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Out on the Tiles. That.
Oh yeah.
It's just so
Yeah.
cool.
This is definitely an album where every song is, you can't skip it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gallows Pole. Take me to the gallows pole. Tangerine is like a beautiful, like, acoustic, like, country twang ballad. It's so good.
That
That's
was
the
written
way,
by Page in 1968 when the Yardbirds were still together.
Ah, okay.
I love the Yardbirds, man.
All right. I can go on about Led Zeppelin III, but my God, we have to keep going here. How
Yeah.
about some Neil Young with After the Gold Rush?
Oh
Neil
boy.
Young After the Gold Rush. I don't.
Oh man, After the Gold Rush, the title track is awesome. Southern Man.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yep.
That is the one.
That's the one that pissed off Leonard Skinner.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I do like Neil Young a lot, but I feel like I don't know. It's like his voice should be annoying, but it's not.
Yeah.
He has kind of like a higher pitched voice.
Now, I remember hearing a Neil Young song. I don't remember what it was, but I was just like thinking, I was at work once and I was just like, what is this? This is amazing. I love this. And it's funny because it reminds me of Patrice O'Neill talking about how he didn't know he studied white people and didn't realize how much of a legend Neil Young is to white people. It was on his on the Opie and Anthony show, and he talks about that, and then he goes on to talk about Radiohead's Creep.
Oh, how white people love Creep, yeah.
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 He's like, I didn't know that Neil Young was so beloved. He's like, I study, man. I'm study.
Yeah. I have nothing against Neil Young. He's not somebody I listen to on a regular basis.
Right. Yeah, me either, but I do have this on vinyl and Harvest on vinyl. They were my, I don't know if it was my mom or my dad who was into Neil Young. I feel like either of them could be. But whatever. Let's see. How about some Van Morrison with Moondance?
My God. Is that the one that has... Oh, hold on a second. Well, I know that.
It has the title track Moondance, which is...
Yeah, that's such a good song.
I can't mimic his voice. He's very, very unique. Yeah. Into the Mystic is a great
I love
song.
that's the one. Yep.
Yeah, that song is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I loved playing that song. We played it in a band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I had never heard it before, and I was looked at like, "What are you, nuts? You've never heard this song before?" And I was like, "No, what is it?" It's like Into the Mystic, Van Morrison, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm all about that. Let's play it. Let's do it." And yeah, it was fun. I love playing it.
It's Van Morrison's very man, he's very unique. It's like I don't even know. It's like he's not singing in time with the music in the background.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just some of his stuff, and it's almost
Ray
like he's
Charles
not
is like that
in
too.
Tune either.
Right. Well, not
He
that.
just has such a strange voice, but man, it's fucking awesome. Just works.
Yeah, him and like Ray Charles also doesn't sing like where you think he would. He just kind of goes along with.
Yeah.
He has his own dance with it, I guess you could say. Yeah, good stuff. Great album.
Definitely. All right, moving on. Another personal pick, Miles Davis, with Bitches Brew.
Oh yes,
I have this on vinyl. This shit's fucking wild. It's like, well, it's considered avant-garde jazz, which makes sense. It's just, I don't even know. It's just like improvisational shit, and I don't know what else to say about it. It's definitely not like it's definitely not normal. It's 93 minutes.
How long is like the song itself, unless that's the whole song? I don't know.
Let's see. Pharaoh's Dance is 20 minutes long. The title track is 27 minutes long.
Okay, so C. McD, if I'm not mistaken, he told me a story once about he might have been at Duffy's or he's at a bar, and this song was on the jukebox,
too, yeah.
And he played Bitches Brew.
It's 27 minutes of just discordant, weird jazz shit. Yeah,
and they got so annoyed because they
I bet.
he put money and they couldn't. It was just Bitches Brew, and he's like, just let it end. It's forever. And he's like, oh no. And they decided they were going to unplug the jukebox, so they unplugged the jukebox. They plug it back in. First song to play, Bitches Brew, starts all over again.
Oh no, he's really getting his money's worth. His money's
worth. I was unplugged. I was unplugged.
Me too.
At the what was it? On Calumet, there's that bar.
Northside.
Northside. I went to Northside in like July and played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by William Hung. and they unplugged me.
Jesus Christ.
They unplugged
as they
me.
should. I'm surprised they didn't pick you up by the collar of your shirt and throw you out.
I remember they stopped it, and I was like, I paid for that. And they're like, it's July.
And it's William Hung. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. I couldn't hold it in. I was too many beers deep to not laugh my ass off.
Well, yeah.
But I did that on here at what is it? The Back 40. I played William Hung as well. And then they shut it off on me. They changed the song, or they skipped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? I paid for that. They said, we don't want that. I was like, that's unconstitutional. That's what I said. I figured that would carry some weight.
Right.
And
especially there.
That fucking dive bar dirt shit town. Go on.
Right.
Dirt shit town. I don't know. I go to Wanata once a week. It's nice. It's quaint.
I mean, you don't. Yeah. You drive through Wanata.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I used to frequent that bar back in the day.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
We all did.
Yeah. It was a rite of passage, I suppose.
For sure.
All right. Anyways, back on track here. Moving on to The Doors, Morrison Hotel. I don't really care for The Doors that much. Yeah. But I feel like I had to mention it because it's, it's a classic record. Even though the only song I know is Roadhouse Blues.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Anyways, that's The Doors.
Yeah.
Hey, how about some David Bowie with The Man Who Sold the World? Which I'm not... It's a good album. I mean, the title track, it's a great song.
Yeah, definitely.
The rest of it is... it's okay. But Bowie gets way better later on in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So let's see. Oh, how about Joni Mitchell, Ladies of the Canyon? I love Joni Mitchell. Yeah, she's wonderful.
She stopped touring after this year, I think, after 1970. But she said she was going to stop touring forever, and she was touring within the year. There was some dispute that happened at a concert. She was like, "That's it, I'm done." Not so much.
The most notable song is Big Yellow Taxi.
Oh,
Pave Paradise put up a parking lot.
Yeah, she covered. Was it the Counting Crows? She covered their song. I think.
Yeah.
It was the opposite. It was the opposite.
Yeah.
You were joking there for a second.
They went back in time. Yeah.
I remember when I first heard that song. It's the Counting Crows, right? And it's featuring like Vanessa Carlton. She doesn't sing at all. All she does in the song is bop bop bop. That's it.
Yeah.
Bop bop bop. That's the whole part. That's what she does. And my buddy that I remember we were listening to that song once, and he's like, "Is he saying a fucking lot or something?" He's like, "Don't it always seem to go."
Yeah.
Paid Paradise, put up a fucking lot. Ooh, bop bop bop. So that's all I really know.
They were pissed off. They put up a fucking lot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, it sounds like he's doing that. But no, that's a really good song. Joni Mitchell is awesome.
Yeah, I think Blue came out later, I believe, which is that album like makes me cry every time I listen to it. It's so beautiful. But we'll talk about that on a later date. But right now we'll talk about Derek and the Dominos with Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs.
Oh, that's their only album, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Layla.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, well, what can you say?
What can you say, really? I mean, the thing about, like, Eric Clapton, all his stuff, I like maybe 3 or 4 songs, and that's about it. I'm not a big Clapton fan. Not to say anything with Layla. I think I like the ending of Layla, where it's just like
the piano part? Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite part about it. Having said that, I think I like the acoustic version better. Yeah.
That piano part plays in Goodfellas.
Yep.
When they're finding all the bodies. Yeah, it's great.
I love that last part. That's so good. Dun, 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 dun. It's just good.
Oh, yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a great song. Well,
all
let's
right.
see. Oh, here we go. We got We got former President James Taylor with Sweet Baby James.
Former president.
What?
James, is that the Fire and Rain? Is that on that?
Yes, that
album?
is the Fire and Rain album.
Yeah, that's a good song. That's
yeah,
a really
I was
good song.
referencing
That's
The
fun to play
Simpsons.
too.
When he shows up on The Simpsons when Homer goes into outer space.
Yeah.
Wow, former President James Taylor.
And I like what he's singing. He's like, sweet things and flying machines, landing safely on the ground.
Oh, yeah. Well, he sings the right lyric
Exactly.
first, and pieces on the ground. Then he realizes, like, oh, that's not appropriate. And it's like, sweet dreams and flying machines floating safely in the air. Hey, I'm not. What does he say? He's like, Mr. Taylor, you know, with all due respect, you know, now's not the time for your brand of bittersweet folk music. And he's like, hey, I'm not as laid back as people think. No, I'm gonna sing, and you're gonna float there and listen.
That's exactly what they do. God, it's so funny.
But yeah, Fire and Rain's great. Country Road's a really good song too.
Is Steamroller on that album?
Yes, it is.
I love that song. That was the very first blues song I learned that I would practice on, and we would jam to. And we played it a few times in school, stuff like that. But yeah, Steamroller. And he wrote that song because in mocking all these new groups that were coming around in New York, where these, as he described it, a bunch of rich kids having their parents buying them amps and guitars, and they would get up there and sing these songs about how they're this machismo alpha males, you know, sort of deal. And so he started making fun of them and saying like, oh, I'm a steamroller, baby. I'm going to roll on over you, you know, whatever the hell that means. I'm an A-bomber, baby. I'm guaranteed to blow your mind or something like that. You know, he's making these silly, that's why he's saying it, you know, this sort of stuff.
Right.
So, inject your soul with sweet rock and roll, fill you full of rhythm and blues. Yeah. And so,
it does say it's a parody song intended to mock the inauthentic blues bands of the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
good for you, James Taylor.
Yep. I think he was in a mental institution too.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was signed to Apple Records, so he got to hang out with the Beatles a lot.
Oh, all these guys all hung out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We got Black Sabbath with their debut album, Black Sabbath.
Yep. That's why I didn't mention earlier when I was talking about I Want You, She's So Heavy. Yeah.
I mean, it was like concurrent though, so I feel like, you know, not one band invented heavy metal. It was all, I feel like a natural progression of a lot of bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. For sure.
Yeah.
But the first song, the title track called Black Sabbath, like that's like one of the original fucking evil guitar riffs. It's got that the tritone, the diminished fifth. It just sounds dissonant.
Yeah.
It's heavy as shit. It's like, what is this that stands before me? It's metal. It's metal as shit.
Yeah. In 1970.
Yo, yeah, God, 1970 this comes out. And then you got
and
The
you think,
Wizard.
like I said, 5 years, you know, the Beatles are coming out with like their second album where it's like, I Want to Hold Your Hand. And then you've got this. The hell out of here.
Right.
And you have this dark evil shit coming out, yeah. Hey, how about another Black Sabbath album? Paranoid.
What? They released that one too in 70?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Black Sabbath was released February of 1970, then Paranoid was September of 1970.
Oh my God.
Now, Paranoid, this one takes it up a notch because you got War Pigs, you got Paranoid, you got Iron Man.
Yeah, that's the song.
Fairies Wear Boots is so fucking awesome.
Is Nib on that?
Oh, no, that's their first album.
That's the first. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yo, that's one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Electric Funeral is on Paranoid, which is like a oppressively crushing doom riff. Like, this is 1970, and okay, I'll give Black Sabbath that. They invented doom metal right off the gate.
Yeah.
Just that slow, sludgy, like feeling you're slowly being crushed by the riff itself.
Right.
So awesome. I mean,
and Ozzy's a phenomenal singer. And
oh yeah, Ozzy's great.
And Iommi, is it Tommy Iommi?
Yes.
Yeah. The fact that he has no fingertips.
Not yet.
Fantastic. Oh no, he still has them there?
Yeah, this is still in standard tuning.
I thought it was something that happened when he was younger. Okay, never mind.
Oh, I don't know, because this is in standard tuning, and I thought after he got his fingertips chopped off, that's in the next album where they tuned down a step and a half, and then they stayed in that tuning.
Oh, okay. I would take your thoughts on this more than mine. I just know that he got his fingertips chopped off.
That's just my assumption.
I thought it was
but
like
we can agree he did
accident.
get his fingers. We can agree he did get his fingertips chopped off at some point.
At some point, his fingertips were chopped, and then he like glued plastic to the tips. I have no idea.
Yeah. He made like makeshift fingertips, and then he had to tune down because it was easier to play. You know, you didn't have to press down as hard.
Exactly.
So yeah, fucking Black Sabbath. If you're into metal music and you don't know these two albums and the next like 3 Black Sabbath albums, like shame on you. Like you need to pay respect to your elders. All right. Moving on now. We have Deep Purple in rock.
Oh my god.
I mean, Child in Time. That song is so fucking cool.
Holy shit. Richie Blackmore, is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It goes into that awesome fucking solo.
Yeah. Not Highway Stars in this, right? That's like further. That's like
I think that's
74 or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. I think around that time when Smoke on the Water comes out.
Yeah, that's later. Yeah.
Yeah. That album I have some stories about, but go on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, in rock, it's also I consider this, it's kind of heavy metal. I mean, Child in Time has some fucking heavy shit in it. So yeah, another band that's like inventing heavy metal basically. Concurrently with, Black Sabbath and the Beatles.
Right, yeah.
All right, moving on here. How about a little band called Pink Floyd with Adam Hart Mother? Which is not very good, but I feel like I had to mention it. Because it's got, the title track is 23 minutes long, and it's, 6 parts. It's actually pretty cool. It has some pretty cool, it sounds like a theme to a Western.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It just sounds like cowboyish, or that has a lot of horns, and I don't know. It's really cool. Side 2 has Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast, which is 13 minutes long. and it's got you can hear him making breakfast and eating his breakfast basically, while there's random noises and music playing. Yeah, it's weird shit.
Huh.
If you're really into Pink Floyd, you should give it one listen at least.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Pink Floyd will have much, much greater things to come.
Oh God. Oh
yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty soon actually. I think their next album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one after that, and the one after that, and the
sure
one
doesn't
after
happen
that.
this year? Jesus.
Yeah, right. All right, I'm gonna get into some prog rock here. I mean, Pink Floyd was prog rock, so I'm already in it. Genesis, Trespass. It's not their best. In fact, AllMusic only gave it 2 stars out of 5.
Gotcha.
But it's got Peter Gabriel. This was before Phil Collins even joined the band.
As I say, this is early Genesis.
Yeah, this is very early.
Yeah.
Just proggy, almost too proggy. They get a little too wanky with their shit. A little too much, too complex.
Yeah.
Some of them do that though. How about some Jethro Tull with Benefit?
Nice.
With their
Jethro
folk,
Tull.
their own brand of folk prog, the flute playing and.
Right.
Benefit though, it's not my favorite. It's okay. Then we got Yes with Time in a Word. Not as good as what they're gonna do, but
right, yeah.
You listen to it, it's yeah, that sounds like Yes, like old Yes. I don't know how else to explain it. If you listen to it,
right.
How about the Moody Blues? A Question of Balance.
That's a good one. Does that have the? Oh, what's that song called?
Nights in White Satin.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I
love
listened
covering
to,
that song.
I listened to some of it. I listened to Melancholy Man, and it reminded me of Radiohead a lot for some reason.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it reminded me of what is it? Paranoid Android, where it has the like the haunting vocal harmonies.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Melancholy
Man had that like exact sort of thing in it. I'm like, oh, I wonder if Radiohead was inspired by that.
Yeah, they might have very well been.
It's I don't know. I could never really get into the Moody Blues. I know my dad loves them, so maybe just leave it for the old people, I guess.
There's still time.
All right, Chris, I got one for you. Elton John, Tumbleweed Connection.
Okay.
Oh, dude, yes.
Yeah. So that's actually funny because I was looking online here just in case you pass up this artist here. He's released 2 in 1970.
Oh, he released 2. Okay, go on.
He released his not necessarily his debut, but it kind of basically his debut album with the song
self-titled.
His self-titled album with the song Your Song on it.
Yep.
With the song what was it? Oh geez. Border Song as well. I think it's called
Border Song.
Yeah. It's got geez, hold on. It's gonna drive me nuts.
It's got Take Me to the Pilot on it.
Take Me to the Pilot, that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Border Song, Your Song, Take Me to the Pilot. Just there's a couple of ones. Gray Seal, that's too. But yeah, like it's fantastic debut album.
Yeah.
I remember
it's awesome.
Yeah. Like when the first time I'd ever really listened to Elton John, it's gonna sound goofy, but friends of mine were watching a movie Moulin Rouge, and the guy was singing this Your Song, and I was like, what is this song? And they told me about it, and I was like, oh, the song's called Your Song. I was like, oh, it's all mashup, because I knew some of the songs he was singing, but I didn't know all of them, and I didn't realize they were all a mashup of like love songs. And so I found out it was Elton John, and then he starts singing other songs, and then I was like, who sings? And it ended up being Elton John. I was like, holy shit, yeah, that too. And I was like, damn. And so I started like listening to more and more Elton John, and I just absolutely fell in love. He's just a phenomenal artist.
Nice.
He's amazing.
An unbelievable piano player. I don't think he gets enough credit. I don't people talk about Elton John's piano playing when they talk about him, but he is a phenomenal piano. He's a prodigy. He was like 9 years old or 10 years old, and he went to his piano player to join this elite musical school in England. And a lady played I don't know the name of the piece, but it's I think it's Mozart. And it's like I couldn't even dare to try and vocalize it, but Elton John, he just walked up to the piano, and she was basically saying play whatever you want. So he just played what she played. He played it perfectly. He played it in his first go, and she was like impressed, just not with the fact that he played that one, but that he played it really well. And she asked him why he stopped, and he looked at it and he says, well, that's where you stopped playing. So that's where I stopped.
Jesus Christ, is he a robot?
Okay, he's in.
Yeah,
what's up?
He's unreal. Yeah.
I said, is he a robot?
Yeah. Basically, he's basically a robot.
Yeah.
But for Tumbleweed Connection, I'll let Nick he can talk about both these albums too, but Tumbleweed Connection was actually the very first album that I really, really got, like, that was it. I listened to that whole damn thing multiple times. It's one of my favorite albums. It's one of my favorite Elton John albums. It's from the ending song to Burn Down the Mission. Is phenomenal. Like, I love listen to that song live. It is incredible what he's able to do, and it's so good. It's so good. Every song on that album I love, and it's trying to get so Ballad of a Well-Known Gun, amazing song to start off with, gets you right into the mood. It's a country album written by two guys from England, and Bernie Taupin and Elton John, by the way, that I would say arguably as good as Lennon and McCartney when it comes to songwriting partners. I mean, they're phenomenal. Country Comfort, another classic.
Yeah,
fantastic song. Like, it's amazing how they're able to. You literally, when you listen to this album, you feel like you're in the Old West.
Yeah,
like you could play Red Dead 2 and listen to this album, which I have done. Son of Your Father, another great song. Really kind of funky too. It's really neat. Um, and My Father's Gone Fantastic. Where to Now, Saint
Yep.
Peter?
Yep.
Another great one. And like I said, Burn Down the Mission. That whole song, that part where they pick up the, you know,
Yeah. When it changes tempo.
and they just go
Yeah.
crazier and crazier, and then it just slows down.
Yeah.
There's a live album. I can't remember. It's like 19. It might be next year. I think it's next year. There's a live Elton John album that I'll wait for Brad or whoever wants to do music. Or, it could be me. I'll
Right.
wait to hold off to talk about it next year. But it's I just discovered it like 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago, and I've been in
Okay.
love ever since. I showed you and Des some of it when we were working together. It had that 18-minute song, and people are like, "Oh, that's the same as the same song." Yeah. But
Right.
anyway, that's all I got for these two albums. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All
I
right.
just have to say that I love that album too. I think that it is truly unreal the fact that Bernie can write these lyrics and Elton can just make it a song. Like he just looks at it and goes, "Okay, I know what I'm gonna do," and then he just like busts it out, and like it's just the talent is unreal. It really is. It's just you don't have stuff like this today. You just don't. And I'm so glad we're doing the 70s because like we've been saying this whole section here that it's just one amazing album after another. And this one specifically, the Tumbleweed Connection, is just has a place near and dear to my heart for sure. Elton John, just in general, is one of my favorite artists ever. So yeah, Chris said everything else I wanted to say.
I was gonna say, what could you possibly add?
Right.
All right.
All right. My last personal album pick. Actually, it's two albums because I would be remiss if I did not mention Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. So we got Weasels Ripped My Flesh and Burnt Weenie Sandwich. All right. So these were both released after the first iteration of the Mothers like disbanded. So I don't know. It's Frank Zappa. It's like impossible to describe. Weasels Rip My Flesh is like mostly like live shit, and it's like basically free jazz improv stuff. It's fucking nuts. And Burnt Weenie Sandwich actually has some some of it's like really beautiful compositions, but you have to really listen to it because like he'll do like a beautiful melody and then it'll go into some crazy like discordant stuff. He does it so well though; it all still flows. It's not his best stuff. Like when we get to the mid 70s is where he really, at least in my opinion, like it like the band he has is awesome, and
I mean
his compositions are a little more easy to listen to, I guess. But yeah, Frank Zappa, love that guy.
Yeah.
So
tons of respect for that dude. He's on another level. He really is. He's different from every artist that you see. Like he does things that most can't. He doesn't play the guitar in the way that you would think normally would think. So he just kind of goes out there and does something, and it's never the same thing twice. It's not something you can just sit there and practice in your room. It's crazy. It's all composed music, so it's precise.
Yes,
there's
like
a whole thing to it.
He like all of it. Pretty much everything is like it's sheet music. He wrote the sheet music.
Yeah.
Like he's an actual composer. But there is a lot, like on Weasels Rip My Flesh, it is just improvisational stuff. But he's still the band leader, and if you ever watch him, he's like conducts his band like an actual conductor, and he gets them to stop and then move on to the next section. And, he controls them. It's really awesome. And yeah, he made a lot of very strange but beautiful music.
All right.
So now I'm going to move on to the top songs of 1970. And this is all stuff we haven't talked about already because we went through a lot of top songs just in the, the number one albums. Let's see. We got The Guess Who with American Woman.
Oh, yeah. America.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really care for that song,
Yeah.
but it was a top song. Yeah, not really much to say about it. It is a catchy rock song.
Nixon's daughter asked that band to play at the White House, but Nixon's wife made him cut out American Woman because it had potentially anti-American lyrics. So there's a little tidbit.
Oh, because of the "Stay Away From Me" lyric and all that.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't dig too deep. I just saw it while I was scrolling through.
She's an American woman. Get away from me. Yeah, that's anti-American. This next song,
Mama, let me be.
This next song could have made it onto worst songs. It's B.J. Thomas with "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head."
Oh, come on. Raindrops falling on my head.
Yeah. Well, compare it to the shit we've been talking about, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing seems to fit.
Oh, it's so good though, isn't it? It really is. It's a good song.
Because I'm free.
So
worrying.
Can I just mention something really quick? I know we just got
we had the cheesy trumpet.
I mean, I know we just finished albums, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was hoping maybe you'd mention one of these, but I understand why you didn't. But I'm huge. I really like the Bee Gees. I'm a huge Bee Gees fan. They came out with 2 albums in 1970. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there. I know they broke up. They broke up in '69, but the rest of the things that they were recording up until then, they put into 2 different albums, and one of them was like a soundtrack for a movie, and the other one was just like their 8th studio album.
Wow.
Yeah, but the soundtrack for the movie was actually Cucumber Castle, which the movie sucks. It sucks, but the album is awesome. It's really great album.
Huh. Yeah. I think I did come across at least one Bee Gees album researching, but I'm just like, it's the Bee Gees. Who gives a shit?
I do.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nick.
2 years on though, that 8th album that they released, not that good, but they still hold on to. They were still holding on to like their early times. You know, they haven't really progressed until the later 70s.
Yeah, and when they would drop, well, they would be a part of the #1 selling album of the 70s.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I just wanted to get that. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine, man. Yeah. I can't get everything.
No, I
There's
understand.
Too much. There's too much stuff. Too much good stuff.
I got you.
All right. Next top song, Edwin Starr with "War."
Oh, nice.
Good God.
Good God.
What is it? Good.
Yeah. Does that remind you of Rush Hour?
Yeah. 100%. Always reminds me of Rush Hour.
It was originally a Temptations song. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Really?
Dude, I bet that's way better than that version. The Temptations version?
I should have listened to it. I didn't listen to it.
Good
It's
God,
got it.
y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know. This Edwin Starr version is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely fucking.
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
I mean, it commands your attention when you hear it. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. Good God, y'all.
Good God, y'all.
Oh man. All right. How about some Diana Ross with "Ain't No Mountain High Enough"?
Oh my God.
Oh man.
The cover of somebody else, or is that the original version?
It is a cover, I believe.
Yeah, it's a cover.
It was first successful as a 1967 hit recorded by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell.
Okay.
Nice.
It became a hit again in 1970, recorded by former Supremes frontwoman Diana Ross. So there you go. It's a great song.
Oh yeah. Ain't no mountain high
Yep,
enough.
the very same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how about we got some Jackson 5
ABC.
with I'll Be There.
Oh.
Nice.
From their 3rd album. And then also ABC from their ABC album, both released in 1970.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah. Yep.
I always thought it was way earlier for some reason. For some reason, I think Motown shit was like all in like the 50s and 60s, but obviously it like spilled into the 70s.
Yeah.
Guys, I'll be right back real quick.
All right.
Bye, Nick. I don't know. Do you think? Let's see. I don't know. Anything you want to say about the Jackson 5 songs? They're very well done.
Yeah. It's a tragic story when I think of the
Oh yeah,
Jackson Five.
yeah. We don't need to talk about how terrible the father was.
Yeah, the whole
Joe,
thing.
right? Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson, yeah, just the whole
I
thing,
mean,
and that the house in Gary. It's like
mhm.
people still go and visit it, but like I wouldn't. There was somebody got. I'm not going to get into this story, but it's horrific. It was on the local newspaper that a father and daughter were just looking at the house and they got held at gunpoint in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's scary.
that's scary for you. So,
I should know better.
yeah, how dare they? But yeah, I don't know. ABC is it's like just a classic feel good song.
Yeah.
It's like the first pop group sort of deal, like with like it kind of reminded me of the like a newer spin on like I don't know, it just didn't seem as robotic kind of. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but you can see like where eventually New Kids on the Block would come from this, or
Oh
Backstreet
yeah,
Boys
like
would
any
get-
boy band
yeah,
would
like
pretty
any like
much
that sort of thing,
spawn from this stuff. Yeah.
this sort of stuff, yeah. But yeah, a young Michael Jackson who in 14 years would have like the greatest album, or maybe not the greatest album, but like at least the highest selling album.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, well, shall move on here to Rare Earth. Get ready.
Get
ready, cause here I come.
Here I come.
Get ready,
'cause
here I
Yep.
come.
Originally a Temptations song,
Right, yeah.
re-recorded by this Rare
dude.
Earth band.
You know what?
Again.
Okay, there's two versions of it. The single version's 2 minutes and 46 seconds, so just the bulk of the song. But on the actual album, it's 21 minutes long. They jam out. They jam for like 2 minutes, and then it's get ready, cause here I come. It's that whole song, and then they just jam out for like another 15 minutes, just like drum solos, guitar solos, fucking organ solo. It's really bizarre. And it was actually, it sounds like it's live, but apparently the audience applause was dubbed in.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's so fucking
Gotta
weird.
fill that album slotted time.
Yeah, I think they had to
somehow.
fill that whole fucking side of the album.
Yeah.
When I hear that song, I think of the movie Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's
Was
doing
that the Rare Earth version, or was that the Temptations?
I think it is the Rare Earth version.
Yeah.
It's the Rare Earth version. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're not even halfway through Connecticut yet, and you're already annoying me.
Makes you feel like you're running at an incredible rate.
Oh god. We already talked about Dumb and Dumber. We can't start again because we could start again.
Yeah.
All right.
Where'd you
We're really doing it, buddy.
I sold some extra stuff.
Nope. We got to move on, Brad.
Yep. All right, guys, come on. All right. How about Frida Payne with Band of Gold? It's like a. I don't know. I listened to it like yesterday. I can't remember any of it. It's a Motown song. It's really nice.
The only thing I know from that is a Carl Pilkington Rockbuster. That didn't work.
Oh yeah, Free the Pain.
Oh my god. Well, okay. At least that reminded you of something.
Yeah.
All right. How about
Free the Pain? Yeah.
How about Three Dog Night with Mama Told Me Not to Come?
Oh yeah. Mama told me not to come.
Do you know that was a?
Sorry.
Do you know that was a Randy Newman song originally?
What?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Mama told me not to come.
It sounds
pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like something he could sing. Like that's his whole what? Yeah.
Right.
And then they made it a rockin' version of it. But yeah, good song, I guess. Yeah, I guess too. When you compare it to what like I said, you compare it to the albums we talked about, it's like it's not that great. How about Sly and the Family Stone with "Thank You for letting me be myself again"?
Oh no.
Thank you for letting me be myself.
But yeah, if you look up the title of the song, it's "Thank You," then in parentheses, "For letting me be myself again." Yeah, for letting me be myself again.
It sounds like something that came out in the 2010s.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it could be a blueprint.
They
Or
were
like
really ahead of
Tyler
their
the
time.
Creator or something.
With the earthquake.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh, God.
exactly. All right. Next song, we have Five Stair Steps with "Ooh Child." It was on Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, I could try to sing it. It's like, ooh, child, things are gonna get easier someday. Na, 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 na. No, nothing.
Nope.
No.
It's a good song.
All right.
How about Norman Greenbaum with "Spirit in the Sky"?
Hell yeah. Oh my God.
Nice.
That song has made him like a multimillionaire. All the
just
movies,
that one
all
song.
the TV shows that have used that song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he watched, he came up with it in like 10 minutes watching like televangelist TV.
Oh yeah, it definitely has a gospel sound to it.
Well, yeah. It's a good song. It's a good catchy little song.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's good. Let's see. Oh, the Kinks with Lola.
Oh
yeah.
So there's a line in the song where he talks about cherry cola, right?
Yeah.
The lead singer had to fly back to San Francisco when he was in London to re-record the line and change it to cherry cola because it was originally Coca-Cola. And he couldn't use it.
And they were gonna sue him.
Yeah, so he had to nonstop go right back too. So he flew like 12, 13 hours to go cherry cola.
C-O-L-A
Go
cola.
back. Yeah.
Da-na-na-na,
Wow.
I do like Weird Al's version, Yoda.
Yep.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Honestly, anything if we said before, anything Weird Al does is always better than the original.
Oh man, I don't know when I saw him. It was a while ago, but he did Yoda live, of course, and it's like it's like everybody now, and everyone's Yoda, Yoda. Everyone's singing, and then while everyone's doing that, Weird Al steps off the stage, and he's like, "Now just this guy," and he just points the microphone into one random guy's face, and a spotlight goes down on this one random guy, and then he's just like, Lola. He's like so nervous, like he just got put on the spot randomly by Weird Al. Oh, so funny.
That's great.
Man, I hope that guy
this guy.
Yeah, just this guy. Just that. Oh man, I hope Weird Al tours again at some point. I'd love to see him again. Anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, Lola, good song. Next up, we have Shocking Blue with Venus.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Coming from the mountain top.
Yep.
She's got it. Oh, that's a good one. All right.
Yeah. And, let's see who. It was re-recorded at least a couple more times.
Yeah.
Did Nancy Sinatra do it?
I don't know.
I
just remember being on the Venus like women's razor
commercials. Yeah.
And I think that was some other newer band or newer singer.
That little riff, that melody.
Oh, but Bananarama?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bananarama did it.
Yep.
Maybe that's the one. But yeah, it's a good song. All right. That's it for top songs in 1970. Now we're going the worst songs in 1970. And actually, I don't have any worst albums, by the way, so we'll just say that Charles Manson one.
That works.
Because I was just exhausted after all this. My mouth is getting dry. I'm not used to talking so much. I've talked more during this segment than I have probably the past month. All right. Anyways, let's do...
Just in general.
Yeah, just in general.
Good to hear your voice again.
I'm going to lose it here in a second.
Yeah.
All right. Worst songs in 1970. Okay, this fucking... Oh, God. Ray Stevens, Everything is Beautiful. This song, I hate this song. And it starts off with... Do you guys know this song? It starts off with a children's choir. Like, Jesus loves the little children.
Yep. Yeah, so
Everything
here's the thing.
is beautiful.
Not only do we know Ray Stevens,
oh yes,
we're well acquainted with Ray Stevens.
Sure.
Our grandpa
you guys were subjected to it.
has met Ray Stevens. Our grandpa met him on stage.
Yeah.
I actually brought a VHS or not a no, I'm sorry. Our grandpa had a VHS of his music videos for his songs.
Yes.
And I didn't have that anymore, but I showed you and Timmy some YouTube videos of his music videos, and yeah, it was something else. The streak, all that crap. But yeah.
Yep.
No,
The
yeah,
Mississippi Squirrel Revival.
yeah. The song does start off with Jesus loves a
Yeah, anytime
Yeah.
there's like a choir of children singing or any child singing, I can't do it.
Yeah. Here's somewhere.
But I'll give this song
Yeah.
this song props for having 2 key changes.
Yeah.
Like think about what 2/3 of the way through, you know, they do, I think it's a step up, and then it's like with all the kids singing in the background with a big chorus. And then, then he goes one more time, and it goes up again, another key change as it fades out. Like, holy shit, 2 key changes. Doesn't help it not sucking though.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's
Yeah.
in a very strong field. It's probably one of the worst Ray Stevens songs there are. I mean, they're all bad.
Right.
They're probably all bad, right?
Yeah, they really are. But it's just it's a nostalgia thing. But even that wears off on me fairly quick. Like I can't even get through the Mississippi Squirrel Revival. You usually want to change a song after about a minute in. Same with
Santa
the Street.
Claus is watching you.
He's everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all of his songs are rated on a scale of bad to worse.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Oh, right.
All right.
How about another bad song? Okay, this song is actually a #1 hit in 1970, but I disagree. It's the Carpenters, "Close to You."
How's that go?
Oh, why do birds
that one
suddenly appear
every time you are near?
Oh
just
no!
Like me.
Yeah, this song sucks.
To be
this fucking cheesy ass schlocky cornball bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it was in the movie The Love Song or Love Story or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, why do birds suddenly appear anytime you're near? Maybe the guy's got some fucking bread in his pockets or something. That's why the birds are. He's being swarmed by pigeons all the time.
Like the pigeon lady in Home Alone 2.
Exactly. Right. Okay, now
Sticky Bandits.
No one asked that question when they're around her. They know why.
Yeah, right.
Now I was gonna say, on the other hand, if I had just fallen in love with a nice lady, I'd probably like this song. Like, oh, look at us, we're sitting in the park holding hands, and all the birds are chirping. But as it stands right now, no. The song just gives me like a bitter resentment.
Your heart is too hardened. For this song.
I can't do it.
Yeah,
you can't relate.
I can't relate though.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking lame ass shit. All right. All right. This next song, I don't know why I put it in worst, because I think comparatively, like I said, it does kind of suck, but I do like it. It's Mungo Jerry in the Summertime.
Oh man.
But it's really catchy, but at the same time, it's kind of a crappy song.
Yeah, it doesn't have any guitar, right, which is interesting.
It's just him making noises with his mouth.
It's very offensive too. That the lyrics.
Oh, about if you're rich,
take her out for a meal,
or if you're poor,
if you're poor, do what you feel.
Right. Yeah. Like, what is he talking about? Like a minimum income of a certain amount, or
what
like?
do you mean by do what you feel?
Well, I know. Yeah, it's bizarre. No, I understand. That just like, what's he basing
poor?
it off
Are we
of?
talking lower middle class? Are we talking like welfare?
Right.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very repetitive too.
Yes, it is.
Pretty sure it's just like
it's got that little piano part. That's about it.
Yep.
Da 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 dee 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 dee. It's just that same melody.
In the summertime when the weather is hot.
And then he runs out of lyrics, so he just
like
does
a vaudeville.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
when the weather is fine, you got women on your mind. Take her out for a drink and a drive.
Dude, doing his jazz hands.
Drink, have a drive. Yeah.
Drink
whatever.
And a drive. Yeah.
Go out and see what you can find. A DUI.
Right. The inside of a jail cell.
Yep. Now you're really poor. You gotta.
And then
all the attorney
comes
fees.
Full circle.
Just there's no post for bail. Just do what you feel.
Oh man. But yeah, I guess it's kind of a crappy song. Another crappy song. I don't know if you guys have heard this. Vanity Fair, Hitchin' a Ride.
I've heard both those things, but not in a song. Like Vanity Fair, I've heard the magazine. Hitchin' a Ride is a Green Day song.
Green Day, yeah.
That's all I got.
Nothing to do with either of those. But the song does have 2 recorders in it.
Oh, nice.
And I can't stand the sound of recorders. I hate recorders.
Gotcha.
It's just boring ass rock, fucking like the Carpenters, like cheesy shit.
Right.
Another cheesy song, Bobby Bloom with Montego Bay. Yeah, it's like a fucking, I don't know. It's just lame shit. I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah, I've never heard it. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Well, look it up and you'll agree.
Oh, no.
I think this was from 1969, but it was popular in 1970. The Archies, Sugar Sugar.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
This
are
is worse
my
songs?
candy girl.
Yeah, this song, it's...
Oh, honey.
I know, and I think of the Simpsons when Homer's
Yeah, me
dancing
too.
with the lollipops. So that makes it good. But
Yeah, I know. That's the
just.
thing
But
about
if
it.
you
remove yourself,
isolate the song by itself.
Yep.
It's just.
It's
and actually, I listened to the whole Everything's Archie album, and I think that's a content. Well, it's 1969 though, so. If it were 1969, it would be on worst albums list because it's just this fucking lame ass. Yeah, it's not even a real band. It's from Archie Comics.
Right.
So
right.
I like how he tries to get really into it at the end of the song. Oh, baby. Like he's like, I don't know. If you listen to Sugar Sugar,
oh yeah,
you can see where he's like picking it up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh man.
It
All
reminds me of what's that movie? The Campaign.
Oh yeah, with Will Ferrell and
Galifianakis.
Yeah.
While he's like playing with his Galifianakis, like playing with his family, and that song's playing.
God.
All right, and that will do it for the worst songs of 1970. And now, the ever so popular worst lyrics. This is a song called Gimme Dat Ding by the Pipkins. That's right. I'm sad and blue, 'cause I can't do the boogaloo. I'm lost. Can't do my thing. That's why I sing. Gimme dat ding. Ah, gimme dat. Gimme dat. Gimme dat. Gimme dat ding. Gimme dat. Gimme dat. Gimme dat ding. Gimme dat. Gimme dat. Gimme dat ding. Oh, sing it one more time, mama. Oh, gimme dat. Gimme dat. Gimme dat. Gimme dat ding. Gimme dat. Gimme dat. Gimme dat ding.
Oh, God.
Gimme dat. Gimme dat. Gimme dat ding. Ah, you ain't doing that thing, but you ain't doing that late at night. What good's a metronome without a bell for ringing? How fast can anybody even tell he's swinging? How can you tell the rhythm written on the bar? How can you ever hope to know just where you are?
Wow, that's deep.
Fucking Dr. Seuss.
You should listen to the song. It's like a ragtime style song.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And that whole gimme dat ding thing repeats again.
Oh God.
There's like a really sad what was it?
Tom Waits.
Tom Waits, sorry.
It's kind of like this.
Yeah,
I ain't
exactly.
doing that late at night.
Yep.
Give me that ding. Yeah. Wow. That's it then? That's
Well, I have actually one more bad lyrics.
Oh, okay.
Song.
Oh.
I'm not going to do the whole thing because it's just the same phrase repeated the entire time. But it's a song called Neanderthal Man by Hot Legs. All right. I'm a Neanderthal man. You're a Neanderthal girl. Let's make Neanderthal love in this Neanderthal world.
Oh no.
That's it.
That's it?
It's just that repeated like 16 times.
Incredible.
Incredible stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
I might
something
include
to
that in the
think
worst
about.
songs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just to play it at the end of the podcast.
Oh,
Right.
sure, if you want to torture people. Yeah.
Honestly, that's awful. Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah. Terrible.
If that's it, thank you, Brad. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
it.
Yeah. Thank you for the excellent. I mean, music is going to be our big kahuna, I think. Probably. I remember thinking like, since there's not video games, there's no video games that we're going to mention for this year. Just spoiler alert now. But
Mhm.
I was worried that, I mean, it's not the end of the world that it's not 3 hours long or 2.5 hours long. That's okay. It's probably a good thing. But the fact that, I mean, the music alone is, I would say, 75% of this episode so far, and it's probably gonna be like that throughout the rest of the decade. Until we
Mhm.
get to movies, then they're both going to be pretty long because there's some really great movies in the 70s that we're going to talk about for a while. That'll
Right.
also have some really great albums as well in the same year. So, yeah, it should be good. I think we'll be all right. We might have just as long of an episode. So who knows? But anyway, we will now move into our next section of the podcast with the TV shows of 1970.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Three's Company too.
Well, we're moving on now. We're moving on up. It's time to meet my business. Just a good old boy.
Those were the days. You're gonna make it after all.
And for the TV shows that debuted in the year 1970, we have All My Children.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, the soap
The
opera.
soap
yeah.
opera, All My Children. That had an incredibly long run.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it ended in like the mid 2000s, maybe.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like 40 years or something.
Right.
I don't know.
God. And it's so, as you can imagine, as you know, cheesy. So
Oh, God,
cheesy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for another TV show that debuted in 1970, we have the Mary Tyler Moore Show. It's with the theme song "You're Gonna Make It After All."
Yeah, and her
Tosses
throwing
her
the
hat in
hat
the
up
air.
and it freezes.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. And so for another show that debuted, we have the show UFO. And guys, I
Cool.
looked into this, and
It's like
this
X-Files?
is, well, not really. It's more like themes of Star Trek, but an insult to it at the same time. It really looks hilarious. The opening theme, you have to watch the opening theme.
Oh my god.
It's cheesy. Oh my god.
It's
is
a
it cheesy.
horrible Star Trek rip off with like bright blue jumpsuits and girls with weird purple hair.
Right. Yep. And another another show that debuted was a show Tort, which is just a crime anthology series.
Mm.
Right on.
Another TV show was The Partridge Family.
Oh, hell yeah.
Come on, get happy. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
It
Who was the... Oh, sorry, go on.
It was a song written by Wes Farrell, Danny Jansen. But yeah.
Well, there's a kid who was like a teen heartthrob from the
Yeah.
Partridge Family. I can't think of his name.
And he was a musician before the show came out. Yeah.
I think he had that song. Is that the All I Need Is the Air That I Breathe and
Oh,
Love You? Is
I know
him?
that song. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's him, but I do know that song. Yeah.
What's his name? I know there was a couple of them that were pretty like what do you call it? Like fame didn't do them any services, really.
All right.
Danny Bonaducci's the guy that I was thinking of. That he got really heavy into drugs and has an anger issue. I remember he was on like a
Wow.
VH1 Celebrity Get Clean type house or Celebrity, kind of like a Big Brother.
Yeah, it's with
type
Dr.
thing.
Drew kind of.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And so Danny Bonaducci was on that. Mini-Me was on that. I remember him being on his scooter naked and pissing in the corner of a room somewhere.
What the fuck?
And just like drunkenly like looking over like, "Wow, what's going on?"
Vern Troyer.
Vern Troyer's
He's
just fucking
nuts.
yes.
Dude.
David Cassidy was the
David
guy's name.
Cassidy. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our mother was a pretty big fan of David Cassidy.
Right.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's it. I Think I Love You. Is that, I think I love you. So what am I so afraid?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, I remember that song.
That's right.
A love there is no cure for. That's his
Yeah.
stuff. That's the only one that I know of. That's just that
Lovely.
song. Yeah. David
So,
Cassidy.
yeah, another show that debuted is the show The Odd Couple, which you guys have probably heard of this.
Oh,
It's about two divorced men sharing an apartment. It's starring Tony Randall and Jack Klugman. However, it was a spin-off from the film from 1968 with the same name. And it was two men that were played by Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau.
Yep.
Which they're amazing. I love both of them. They just have such incredible chemistry.
Yeah.
And they're hilarious, man. Hilarious.
I think it made my worst movies. Maybe it did or did. I can't remember. It was in the late 90s. The Odd Couple 2.
Oh, The Odd Couple 2 is garbage. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't even bother. It was when they're older.
Grab. Yep.
Yeah, cash grab when they're much older. And it was actually made after the Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah.
And right. So they took that too. And they're like, let's just remake The Odd Couple.
Right.
And yeah, terrible idea.
I think
so another go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think probably one of the reasons that they did the cash grab, according to Kevin Pollak, who played Walter Matthau's son in Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men. The stories that Walter Matthau would tell on set, how he was a degenerate gambler, always gambling. And I remember one of his big achievements in life was getting Fred Astaire to curse, because I guess Fred Astaire never cursed, and he used to always give him shit for it. And they used to go to like the track every weekend and just bet on horses. That's what they did. He did it every weekend. And I think apparently, according to Kevin Pollak, one day, like a manila envelope shows up on Walter Matthau's door, and inside is a cassette tape. And he puts it in and he plays it, and it's Fred Astaire, and he's talking about, I never curse. And he starts talking about how he bet on some horse, and then he just goes off, and he basically is like the announcer of the horse race, of what's going on. And we've got, the names for the horses are like absolutely disgusting, according to Kevin Pollak. Just this most filthiest shit you've ever heard. Right. Is coming out of Fred Astaire's, and that was like his prized possession. In Kevin was like, "Can I hear it?" And he's like, "No."
Oh man! All right, so another show that debuted in the 70s, or 1970 to be exact, is the show McCloud. McCloud. Well, it's a New Mexico deputy marshal gets assigned to Manhattan's 27th precinct, and it looks hilarious. It looks like Walker in New York, but he rides a horse everywhere and wears cowboy gear all the time.
Nice.
And oh God, it looks so funny.
Oh,
so
God.
funny. McCloud. Yeah.
McCloud.
And another show that debuted is Play for Today, which was it's a BBC anthology series that's featuring like original television plays and adaptations of stage plays and novels. It actually seems like a pretty decent show. I never watched it, but it seems pretty cool.
Okay.
Another one is Tomorrow's Joe, another show that debuted, Tomorrow's Joe, which is an animated series where the protagonist is like this troubled youth who finds a mentor in boxing. That's like the simplest terms.
Okay.
There's a lot more to it than that, but I've heard really great things about this series. It is Japanese, like a Japanese anime.
Okay.
And its original title is Ashita Nojo. But I've heard really good things about this show, and I've actually been wanting to watch it. I heard it's on the streaming service Crunchyroll, which is for like anime and stuff. So I was thinking about giving it a look, giving it a watch.
Okay. Yeah,
but it sounds like a good show. And then the final show that debuted in 1970 was the show called Nanny and the Professor, starring Juliette Mills as the British nanny. It's just playing upon the popularity of Mary Poppins. She's just a magical nanny.
Gotcha.
Just stupid. So now we'll move into the top TV shows of 1970. And for number 10, we had the top 10 shows of 1970. For number 10, we have the show called The FBI. Now, this show was basically just reenactments of actual like crimes that were investigated by the FBI.
Oh, okay.
And I actually read this article about the show that each detail, and that's what the article said. The article said that each detail of each script was carefully vetted by the actual FBI through the office of Deputy Director Clyde Tulson who was in that position from 1900 to 1975. That's insane. But all actors who portrayed FBI agents and the other cast members received thorough background checks from the Bureau. And it was to, quote, to ensure that no criminals, subversives, or communists were associated with the show.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
So for number 9 of the top shows of 1970, we have the show Bonanza.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And and it's on NBC, and it was the second largest running Western behind another show that we're going to talk about. So second longest running Western on television, and it was starring Lorne Greene, Pernell Roberts, and Michael Landon. I believe that we used a Bonanza photo for the Christmas album. Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So for unless you guys have anything to say about Bonanza,
nothing.
No, we used it for the Christmas album cover.
Yeah.
Brad warped their faces.
It's great.
I don't know why I did that.
Like a Bonanza Christmas or something.
Yeah, it's one of those, like a promotional Christmas shot or something.
So for number 8 of the top shows, we have this show called Medical Center, which is just an American medical drama series. It's a lot like ER, but not as involved with like the vocabulary, like there's not as much medical lingo as you could say, it's just a typical medical drama. And for number 7, we have, and everyone's heard of this, and this is when it came out, Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, okay.
It was on CBS. It was just it's another show. It's a show with a well-known theme, right? The
Used to play that pep band. That was fun.
Yeah. And it's starring Jack Lord, Leslie Nielsen, and Andrew Duggan, or Dugan, however you want to pronounce that. But yeah, that show, very popular, and they've remade it a million times. And yeah.
I think they remade it in like 2017 or something like that.
Right.
It was like this updated version of that theme. I don't know, like a trap beat, or I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And number 6, we have ABC Movie of the Week, and this is kind of self-explanatory, right? It was on ABC.
Yeah.
It's an American weekly television anthology series that featuring made-for-TV movies that aired on the ABC network. And for number 5, we have the show Gunsmoke. Now, this is a very popular show. It's on CBS, and it was an American Western based off the radio series with the same name from like the 50s. It's the longest running Western in television history with over 20 seasons.
Damn.
It's an iconic show, one that I've heard of, but I never watched it.
Right.
Nah, me either.
Yeah.
Nope, me either.
So number 4, we have the show Ironside. The show was on NBC. And this show's theme song is also pretty epic. It's like wow, 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 ba-da-bum, you just have to listen to it. It's hard to like recreate it. But when you listen to it, you're gonna recognize it immediately. It's pretty epic. The show is an American television crime drama. The character Robert T. Ironside is a consultant to the San Francisco Police Department who was paralyzed from the waist down after being shot while on vacation. The show became a success as Ironside depended on brains and initiative in solving cases and maintaining a tough guy persona. But it does have that awesome theme song. So here's the top 3 shows that of 1970, and it's the number 3. We have Here's Lucy. This was on CBS, and this show is the 3rd installment from the Lucy universe. And because there was I Love Lucy, the Lucy Show, and then Here's Lucy, and that's where it ended.
Actually,
yeah,
in the 80s, they brought it back.
Did they really?
Yeah, it made
Did
my
we
worst
talk about
TV
that?
show. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, stupid.
It wasn't good. I think it lasted maybe a season. That was it.
Right. So for number 2, and hold on for this one. Number 2, most popular show, second most popular show, The Flip Wilson Show.
Who? Wilson.
Flip Wilson.
That name sounds familiar.
It's like a variety show.
So yeah, this was on NBC, and it's a show that had a live audience and performed skits, much like an SNL.
Oh, okay.
When I looked into this, there's something that was a little disturbing. There's this character called Geraldine Jones that, to me, it seemed like an influence for people like Tyler Perry or regrettably Eddie Murphy. Geraldine Jones is a fictional African-American character and the most famous recurring persona of comedian Flip Wilson. Geraldine was played by Wilson in drag as a sassy and liberated Southern woman who was coarsely flirty yet faithful to her unseen boyfriend Killer. It's just not something that would fly today at all. Yeah. I don't know.
Did he do like blackface and stuff like that?
No, he was a black guy.
Oh,
that was.
I have no idea who that is. So
right, yeah, exactly. And so for the number 1 most popular show of 1970, we have the show Marcus Welby, MD, and the show was on. The show was on ABC. It's your typical medical drama where the doctor is unorthodox in his practices. It's probably still better than House, though.
However. Yeah, it was probably groundbreaking in 1970, but by the 49th installation of the same story, The Good Doctor, Doogie Howser, it's all the kind of same thing.
Yep.
The House, obviously mentioned. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's really okay. So now we're going to get into the worst shows of 1970. But before I talk about this, there's actually something really interesting that I found from the part of 1970 to 1971. It's this thing that you guys may have heard of, or our listeners may have heard of. It's called the Rural Purge. And the Rural Purge was of American television networks, in particular CBS, was a series of cancellations in the early 1970s of still popular rural-themed shows with demographically skewed audiences, the majority of which occurred at the end of the 1970 to 71 television season. We only had one show that fell victim to that, but I'll mention that a little later. So the worst shows of 1970, we start with number 7. I only really had 7. The ABC Sunday Night Movie, which is, not as popular as the other, no one really watched it. So we have number 6, The Carol Burnett Show, which was just an American variety, like sketch comedy television show. And then
is that this is for worst?
Yeah, this is the least popular worst shows of 1970. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So for the Carol Burnett Show, I'm gonna have to push back. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to push back here. The lady, Carol Burnett herself, is one of the best comedic actresses ever.
Okay.
every like her skits on her show were groundbreaking.
Right.
Um,
Well, I just want to
the
say that this is
just based
based
off like
on
the ratings.
this is based on ratings and viewership.
Oh, okay.
It's likely this show it may not have debuted in 1970, but it didn't really catch the audiences probably much till later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so for Better Call Saul, it's the old lady that catches him at the end. That's Carol Burnett.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like she would always pull on her ear as like a signal to her mom, like a special thing between her and her mom. So at the end of every
Uh-huh.
episode, she would tug on her ear and stuff like that. But there's a number of prominent comedians, sketch artists. They all reference like just like I Love Lucy. They'll reference the Carol Burnett show as
Right.
like making them think differently about how to do sketches and
Right.
different sscenarios and stuff like that. So yeah, I it's a shame. I mean, that's kind of par
Yeah.
for the course in a way that
Yeah.
it would be so low rated. And
Mhm.
you've got that the Wonder Doctor being number one.
Right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I
But
think that
so much changes, so much stays the same.
exactly. Yeah, and I'm not. It's likely that Carol Burnett show kind of almost certainly increases in ratings as the show goes on. But as of 1970, the show was considered one of the worst in views and ratings. So number 5, we have The Smith Family. This is an American family drama television series starring Henry Fonda and Ron Howard.
Oh
Ron
wow.
Howard, yeah.
Opie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So number 4, we have the Jim Nabors Hour or Neighbors. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that.
Neighbors?
I
Is
think
it
it's Neighbors?
Neighbors?
Yeah.
It's weird because it's just not spelled like, neighbors, but the Jim Neighbors Hour, and it's running on his success as the star of Gomer Pyle, USMC, which is from the Andy Griffith Show. And I put in my notes, fuck that show. This show and many others will fall victim to what is called the rural purge, just not in 1970, in 1971, of course. So didn't last long. It's one of those shows that fell victim to it. So number 3, this is a show that we've definitely all heard of, the Dean Martin Show, which was a variety show with that song, Everybody Loves Somebody Sometimes. Yeah, that's
yeah, the Dean Martin show is a huge. Well,
yeah, no,
obviously not ratings.
again, this is 1970. It hasn't really taken flight yet. It had lower ratings than you would expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's funny because the shows that debuted, and it does make sense, but there we have the next 2 shows were also shows that debuted in the same year and were considered the worst and had the worst ratings. Number 2 was The Partridge Family. And then number 1 was The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the show that fell victim in 1970 to the rural purge was this show called Petticoat Junction.
Yeah, Petticoat Junction.
It ended in 1970. The series takes place at the Shady Rest Hotel, which is run by Kate Bradley, her 3 daughters, Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, and Betty Joe, and her uncle Joe Carson. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So, and this got canceled for some reason. Huh.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What was it called again?
Petticoat Junction.
Oh, it's called like Average Joe's or something like that.
All right.
Yeah. The Joe Show.
Joe Junction.
Anything but Petticoat Junction.
But yeah, I mean, several more shows in the following year are going to be purged. But this is the first of many. And that will then conclude the TV shows of 1970.
Oh, thank you. All right, guys. All right. Well, that was a fun, interesting little episode there. Not sure how long it's going to be, but it has a little bit of everything. Obviously, like I said, we don't have video games, but I think we'll be all right. We'll mention them once that do come along. Like the infamous Pong, whenever that debuted.
Yeah.
Such like that. But for the most part, there's really not a lot of video games. But be that as it may, if you guys don't have anything else to add, I will close it out here.
No, nothing else.
All right. And with that, I hope you enjoyed listening to our conversation and will join us again for another installment of History with Hersafat. Don't forget to hydrate, exercise, and to like, subscribe, and comment on the podcast. Yeah, back that up. Don't forget to hydrate, exercise, to like, and subscribe to the podcast. All these things are essential for your health and well-being. Take care of yourselves and each other.
Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky. When the weather's fine, you got women on your mind. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find.